Please give me a moment to make sure everything's set on up. I also am making a slight test here. I read that while Twitch advertises that it only allows up to 6,000 kilobits per second upload rate, people say you can actually push it up to 8,000. So I'll give that a try today and hopefully it goes well. And another note as well, Rumble's live stream is also heading as well to 8,000, and I don't know if there's a cap on YouTube, so hopefully this goes good. Let's let that go. In the meantime, I'm going to let some of my update some other things, such as thumbnail and the Rumble description. Configure well. There we go. Thumbnails up to date on YouTube. Let me update the Rumble description. And yep, Rumble is streaming. Good, good, good. Save. The Rumble description's up to date. Oh, now I'm up to a nice even 60 followers on Rumble. Very nice. Alright, looks like everything's good here. Which doesn't seem like it's bugging out. Does not seem like it's bugging out. Let me check my other monitor. Everything seems fine to me. Excuse me. It's one of those times of the year where I think I'm slightly allergic to grass. Whenever I mow the lawn when growing up, afterwards I always get a big headache, as well as like an itchy throat. So I think I'm actually maybe allergic to grass. So then again, I grew up in a neighborhood that's filled with trees, basically a light forest. And if you're British, forest. So, got my drink, got the streams going up good. So I think everything is good to go. Not skirmish. Multiplayer. Why did I connect in the game? Is my connection bad? Hopefully not. So, let's go ahead and get started. I did have somebody submit a replay to me. Yep, this one right here. I'm not going to worry about this exact moment. Did I already cast that one? That just looks awfully familiar. Just please give me one moment. I just want to double check. If I recast it, that won't be a big issue. I think I read that description and I didn't download it from Games Replay, but who knows? It doesn't look like if I cast that replay before. Oh, okay, that's perfectly fine. Let's see, let's first do another 1v1, since the person who submitted that replay to me has not joined the stream yet. I don't think anybody's joined the stream just yet. So I'll cast somebody else, then I'll cast his replay, then we'll go for some other replays. That is the game plan. Greetings everyone, and Grade here of another Company Heroes 1 replay. Spawn on the north side as a US play, we have Jam Me Me. We also got some engineers who do have a barrack spawning out, not support weapon center. Spawn on the south side as the Panzer Elite player, we have Saram. And over here, of course, let's switch over to the Panzer Elite player for the time being, since there's more variety of what build orders. Looks like just Panzer Grenadiers. No additional Shimwagen. Also got a third engineer deployed out by the US player. And of course, got the barracks just now fully deployed. He may go for an extra jeep Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward, being upgraded to G43.
Ready to pass on orders. Grenadiers ready for action.
Fresh squad of Panzer Grenadiers, course deployed on out. And we have nothing being pulled out by the barracks just yet. We got, of course, 3 riflemen out in the field, going for the strategic points. And the G43 squad is going aggressive, trying to deny territory. The water is native ground, but of course he's fighting against engineers. Engineers are a range, or not a range unit, the opposite of a range unit.
Ready to respond.
And so the G43 squad here is going to be very, very effective in denying that munitions point and denying the US advance entirely. You will need to get out perhaps a rifleman or a jeep. I'm guessing that's going to be a jeep first. Let's see what that is. It is a rifleman. And the engineers coming up north to capture some sectors. Schimwagen is down south capturing up some sectors, and we do got another Panzer Grenadier deployed out in the field. Excuse me a moment as I get a drink. Not like there's much going on. We got the Panzer Grenadiers captured the munitions sector.
Engineers ready to roll.
And we do have these engineers capture this fuel point, but first we're going to lay down some sandbags. So capturing that fuel point will not be in supply at the moment.
Okay, done building.
Munitions point here has been captured, and so far the Panzer Grenadier, the Panzer Elite player, has not captured up these points here as well, so there's going to be a lot of free resources for the engineers to claim. You got a second squad of Panzer Grenadiers to support out the Panzer Grenadiers, and likely there could be some more Panzer Grenadiers to support the Panzer Grenadiers. Riflemen are eyeing the munitions point in across that. Is it a river or a creek? Yeah, that's deep enough and wide enough for a river, though it does have some fjords possible. Just be careful when fjording the river. After all, Oregon Trail taught us you should never really fjord a river. Though then again, I think the British in the Market Garden campaign really understand not to use rubber dinghies when fjording, at least. Engineers making their way down south, Schimwagen be capturing that fuel point. And these engineers will find this uncaptured sector. He may be eyeing for this cutoff point here. That's probably the point he should try eyeing. He'll, of course, deny that income. He realizes this point's not captured, so going for that cutoff point will deny him his opponent some resources. So I suppose since this sector is in supply and is connected to his base sector, so that is not actually a cutoff sector, so that's my bad there. Engineers. Oop, got a bit of a lag spike there. My apologies. Not sure what caused that. Probably should have restarted my computer before the stream. And G43 squad does force back the engineers. Both these points have been decaptured, which will of course cut off the US player off of all the supply, barring a single munitions point. Engineers and Panzer Grenadiers engaging, and now I've got a flamethrower. Panzer Grenadiers do fall back. Flamethrower is not exactly what he wants to see at this moment. Panzer Grenadier right here will be forced back as well. 2 riflemen is not what he wants to see either. He can leave this sector unsecure for the time being, because this point will get him back in supply. These engineers have claimed these sectors over here as well, getting a nice little tithe of munitions. Rifleman squad advancing down south. Panzer Grenadiers have deployed out a Kampfgruppe company and going straight for our Panzer Command. So we will likely see 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 222s, I'm guessing. Probably a nice even 12. Yeah, they're just going to build 222s. That's pretty much standard for most Panzer Elite players. Nobody wants to deploy out Panzer 4Cs. I like seeing things that are not usually deployed out, because it just makes the game a bit more unique. You have, looks like a rifleman squad is getting a handful of bullets into the Schimwagen, but every single one bounced off of that thin aluminum armor. Was Schimwagens back then, or vehicles back then, made out of aluminum, or was it sort of metal? Because a lot of days now, a lot of the skin of most vehicles today are some sort of form of plastic or thin aluminum. But then again, they do, as well as my dad mentioned beforehand, that vehicles don't really rust as much anymore because they dip everything in zinc. If you notice nowadays, vehicles today just don't really rust. They have to take a lot of abuse before they start rusting, and that's usually because they get dipped in zinc. Of course, that's according to my old man. What does he know? He's an old man. Ooh, one of these Panzer Grenadier squad is severely wounded. And these old men and young children are now getting some good damage there on the riflemen. 2 squads of riflemen, Flamer squad are advancing forward. This rifle squad is down to 3 models, needs to fall back, may get fully wiped. It's prone to being wiped right here, but not being focused down. 222 is advancing forward. Oh, I think he mass retreat by accident. I think that was a misclick.
Infantry squad lost.
I heard that rifleman squad being wiped out from the announcer. Flamer engineer may go down as well. Everyone makes that mistake. Select everything and mass retreat. Schimwagen may go down as a consolation prize.
Enemy unit
And the
down.
Flamer engineer does actually escape on out of there. 2 G43 squads does fall back for the wounded squad. He may have base healing. No, he does not have base healing. Though I see something being built there that may be base healing. Oh, Schimwagen, then base healing. 2 now getting some great damage there on that engineer, ripping him apart. And there goes the engineer. With a few things more effective than the US 50 cal. A automatic 20mm cannon. Schimwagen now receiving a bit of fire from this rifleman squad. You have now the... what's it called? The Panzer Support Command on pull down the field. Or being built right now. G43 squad does fall back. There's 3 squads of riflemen overrunning these Panzer Grenadiers. Offensive operation has not been fully built, and it's currently 4 Panzer Grenadiers up on the field. You see 5, and there is a nice landmine detonation from the Panzer Grenadiers on the retreat path, which also blew up its own rifleman squad, really. Oh, sure, go right ahead. Go ahead and put a link into the Rumble chat. Though do note as well, after this replay, there's already a user-submitted replay that I will go ahead and cover.
Grenadiers reinforced. Our rifles are cold. Let's go. Schwimmwagen, ready for a dip.
Munitions point being captured on up. You got these Panzer Grenadiers pushing their way forward, fully healed up. And now I do have a motor pool deployed out on the field. I think I see something deployed out. Is maybe an AT gun? It is a Greyhound.
All right, men, time for the fight.
Triage center being deployed on out. There's a lot of rifle. This rifleman squad needs a lot of blood transfusions. At that point, I think they may be just bleeding out. Of course, that's not exactly a thing in this game. Closest thing to quote-unquote bleed out is probably being lit on fire. Yeah, probably being lit on fire.
Hi.
50 cal has been deployed out first, then the armor skirts. Most people usually go for armor skirts first. Yep, I'll go ahead and take a look at that replay once this replay gets finished.
Upgrade complete.
Oh, actually, first I'll cover another replay that a user submitted, then I'll take a look at that one. But I'll make sure to download that beforehand before I forget. Panzer Grenadiers are pushing way forward, does pin down the engineer squad. Engineers with another Flamer squad is advancing forward. A lot of fire in this region. Does pin down the other Flamer squad. Greyhound's advancing forward, trying to get some rounds into that armored car. Panzer Grenadiers with the Panzerschrecks do get forced back, and with those wipe out one of the Panzerschreck squad and drop the Panzerschreck. That'd be a great thing for the riflemen to pick up. Greyhound's advancing forward, trying to get some good rounds into that 222. Does get some good hits as well onto it. All Panzer Grenadier squads fall back. This G43 squad, however, may get wiped out. It does get gunned down by the 50 cal. Schimwagen getting this cutoff point, and not really a cutoff, but does cut off the munitions.
Where we headed?
Greyhound having trouble, not like the most amphibious thing. Like I said, you should really avoid fjording in general. Looks like Schimwagen's going to be backing on off up north, trying to avoid any additional Greyhound fire. Do not see any doctrine select just yet. Panzerschreck advancing forward. Both players' Panzerschrecks are advancing forward, but the Rifleman Panzerschreck squad does fall back. Oh, finds another landmine right there with the 222. Gets a destroyed engine crit there. Times we wish he had that Panzerschreck up and going. Looks like these Pentagon are going to make some quote-unquote emergency repairs. Jim Bog is making his way down south. We'll potentially find a Minesweeper squad. The Minesweeper is not exactly the deadliest squad. Patrick doesn't connect. Other squads repairing up the armored car, trying to keep it alive. Patrick push on forward, trying to get another shot. Should be able. Nope, doesn't get off another shot. He does get a shot there on the Greyhound now. The Greyhound will go down to the next direct hit. Essentially, the ultimate gets a death crit as well. And now the armor car has its engine repaired and backing it off to safety. Schimwagen head to the fuel point. Minesweeper squad can recapture the munitions point. We've got these forces getting some good damage there on the Rifleman squad.
What's next?
Schimwagen is receiving some automatic weapons fire, and the engineers are receiving better automatic weapons fire. Does drop actually 2 models right there, but the engineer squad will likely escape on out of there. Do not have an M1 AT gun deployed out in the field, and still so far an unknown doctrine. Rifleman squad advancing forward. Penstrick firing good shot there, getting good hit. And now we've got the Greyhound advancing forward. Does fire some rounds there. And these Pentagoners are backing on off, trying to get some much needed repairs in that armored car. But 4 squads there, they should be repaired up in no time, but won't be able to do much contesting with the M1 AT gun in the region. Does fall back now again. Greyhound does see some Penstrick fire. M1 AT gun trying to set up on the high ground. 2 Penstricks may hit. That should see one of the Greyhound there, and now the Penstrick squads may need to fall back, receive a bit too much fire. He may be trying to beat up the Greyhound, and all those squads do fall back now. Greyhound making its way down south.
Jaeger Command is now available to aid our worthy cause.
Jaeger Command has bullet on out. That's support command, so he's likely going for that point to get that research. He already has Pansec research, so that will allow him to get his Panther research, and he will likely go for his Panthers. We got some more U.S. landmines.
Never be able to match the efficiency of our support command structure.
And that is being laid down by the engineer and not by the rifleman. So that's not a sign of doctrinal lock-in. After that point as well, right now the VPs are in favor of the U.S. player, or the Pens Elite player by a small margin. Schimwagen captured the central VP and got these engineers heading up to the left VP. Panzergrenadiers making their advance once again.
We're losing a fuel depot to the enemy.
And there's a Panther research, and he does have 600 manpower, so he's saving up for his Panthers.
Ready for orders.
So far, no doctrine selection for both, or at least for this player. Does find a landmine there, knocking out both the Pantrick squads. That's actually very, very important. Forcing both those back means his opponent now can push forward with his Greyhound with a bit more of impunity. Let's see if there's any doctrinal lock-in for the US player. Oh, Rangers. And he's went straight for Rangers, not for the off-and parachute. We may see some Rangers deployed out in the field sooner rather than later. Hopefully we do. He does have plenty of manpower for them. Schimwagen captured the munitions point now. M1 AT gun finds the Schimwagen and stops him from capturing the point. The US player has a very, very good reserve of manpower. Let's switch back to the Translate player since we have an unknown doctrine selection. He has an even larger manpower reserve, but we all know what he's going for. 2-2 could perhaps just sort of stick around this area to help keep this area secure away from any engineers or any flanking squad. Grenadiers getting some damage there on the rifle squad. They got the bar research as well. We could just have perhaps see a medic station. There's some good. There's probably a good spot here for a medic station. A squad G43s, and do have his 2 Panthers now on the field.
Repairs completed. Doesn't look too bad.
And now we do also have some Rangers with the Thompson upgrade, making their advance. If he uses suppressive fire ability on the Rangers, they can just fire it up and escape suppression. Greyhounds advance forward, Rifleman with a Panzerstrike. You may have access to sticky bombs. It's probably about this time you should access sticky bombs. AT guns set up on a bad angle. And now the Rangers advancing forward. A bazooka model has gone down, so there goes the Thompson model there. Let's get some damage there on the Rangers. Have one bazooka up and going. No sticky bomb there. AT gun set up at a good angle. But should hold back these Panthers for the time being. One Panther is a little bit wounded. Nothing too significant. 2-2 is much more wounded there. And now the Thompson Ranger squad does fall back. AT gun's not setting on up. Now is a good time for the AT gun to set up. Should be able to get some side and rear armor hits from this angle. So now the 2-2 is advancing forward, and the M1 AT gun is just going to fall back entirely. Greyhound trying to push forward, trying to deal with that 2-2. Does see a good hit there by the AT gun, and the AT gun is now one model with death damage right there. There goes the 2-2. The AT gun does go down. Rangers, hopefully they get their bazookas up and running soon. Greyhound does receive a good hit there. Machine gun receiving a bit of fire. Ranger does have one bazooka up and running. He could fire with it. He's out of range of reinforcements. Patrick squad and bazooka can perhaps get some hits there onto those Panthers. Times Grenadiers receive a bit too much fire there, and now the Flame Engineers in the mix as well, gain some great AoE damage. Some of these forces are getting whittled down, the Minesweeper squad included. I think he went for that Minesweeper squad with his engineers because since he saw the Schumwagen, he's worried about any like incendiary traps, landmines, things of that sort. Howdy. Machine gun placement, warding away a Panther, clearly. Guess all the machine gun placements work. AT gun set up on the river bank, trying to find some shots there. Panther escaped on the high ground. This one does fall back in the other direction. Severely wounded, so these Panthers will need a bit of time to repair. Switch over to the US player. Let's see what we have out at the moment. So just one Ranger squad. He may be going straight for off-map combat group. We do have, looks like the supply yard. I think it's level 1 production. Could be level 2 production. It's a good reserve of fuel. Yeah, I think that's level 1 production based on looking at the structure. Offensive operations, so he's not going for the off-map combat group side now. Now he's going for the M2 or at least off-map power shoots. Yep, I'll take a look at that once this replay is done. AT gun's now firing away, getting some damage there onto the Panthers. Or Panther. And good bounces there, but the deflection damage still does some good work. Another squad of Rangers now deployed on the field, so these 2 squads of Rangers immediately being upgraded for Thompsons.
Okay, done building.
I recommend if you go for Rangers, if you want in the infantry, then go for Thompsons. But if you want it just for anti-vehicle, generally don't go for the Thompsons, so the bazookas will be passed around across the squad.
Rifle squad, all eyes and ears.
Rangers, here are your new weapons.
2 Thompson Rangers now deployed on the field.
Engineer ready
One
to
rifle,
wait.
one of these engineers also veteran C1. Panther getting some much needed repairs. Switch over to the Panzer Elite player. Good reserve of resources, and he definitely selected a doctrine right there. So quality scorched earth. Ooh, there's gonna be a massive crush here, but AT gun. No sticky bombs, looks like. Bazookas does get some hits there as well. AT gun set on up. Got a flank here of the Riflemen and the Rangers. Riflemen getting hit, and we do have the sticky bomb research there. I saw him throw, but was unable to get it thrown off. Now here comes the Thompson Rangers ripping apart these Panzer Grenadiers. This Panzer Ranger has also dropped a bazooka model. So there's 3 bazookas going to be firing against that Panther. Got another Panther, or no, that's 18 gun and Greyhound advancing forward. Yep, still 2 bazookas up and going on this Ranger. He's going to use fired up, trying to close the distance. Perhaps should have done that a little bit sooner. Locker everything setting on up. One bazooka does roll bounce there, and does decide to fall back with both these squads. 2 AT guns now deployed on the field. And the fact that so many VPs consumed, or CPs consumed, let's see now. Definitely not Luftwaffe ground forces because of the usage of either path will bring in a call-in ability. So it could be either Scorched Earth or Tank Hunter. And I can't tell based on the number of Panther trucks if see if it's a Tank Hunter. Tank Hunter does not make any sense. He's not facing against a lot of tanks. It has to be Scorched Earth, right? Schimwagens can't booby trap. We got a US landmine there, very nice. Panzer will find the landmine, which actually is good for the Panther. Though these guys are very, very stacked up. Ooh! That was a really good landmine there. So much damage. Stalled out the attack. Panther severely wounded as well. Panther over here, patrolling around. Getting a bit lucky not finding any landmines. He will be not very lucky very shortly. He does get engine crit there as well. AT gun set up on a pretty good angle. Could be set up on a pretty good angle there. Got a lot of fire. Need to make sure to set up a... Oh, no, that's a horrible angle. Go forward. He's going to retreat back. There's no way that he was going to push forward. Good bounce there. Finds another landmine there. Just getting damage. No additional crits. Rifleman going for a crit. I think that's another AT gun firing from the high ground. Maybe that's... Maybe not. Got a pen there as well. No sticky bomb from the rifleman. Good bounce there. And looks like the rifle squad may get forced back. Greyhound advancing forward. Rifleman squad advancing forward. We do have the Panthers barely escaping out of there. These are not Rangers, so they can't fire it up. But the Rifleman with the Panther can quickly kill off that Panther. Go for it. Go for it. You can perhaps get some sticky bombs off as well. It does get the kill there on the Panther. AT gun does push forward. And where did the other... There's the other Panther receiving AT gun shots, so somehow the AT gun got over here. The other AT gun at least. Rifleman squad needs to make sure to protect that AT gun. Panther does get directed there on the gun itself. Panther as well. Critics there on the other Panther. Still has a damage and crit. Rifleman, I don't believe they have grenade research. But Flame Engineers trying to burn some guys alive on the water. There's smoke on the water. Panther received quite a bit of damage there. Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward. Panther could potentially be taken out by the Vet 2 Greyhound. And the Panzer Grenadier squad here does fall back. AT gun advancing forward. Finds a bounce there. That Panther's one pen away from death. Even closer to death now. Thompson's here. Thompson Rangers. Let's get some damage there on these forces.
We have lost a vehicle.
And looks like the Panther... No, that's a Schimwagen that went down. Schimwagen went down to the Greyhound. And main gun destroyed crit. Panther's just being a little bit stubborn there. Stubborn. And now do have the Hummel being deployed on out. Does roll a bounce there. Panther's still alive. Greyhound getting some good damage there. Thompson Rangers could advance forward. They do receive suppressive fire there. I'm not sure if fired up is on cooldown or not. Now the Thompson Rangers now advancing forward. Panzer Grenadiers receive quite a bit of fire. AT gun does take out the Panther finally. And these Panzer Grenadiers do fall back. And these Thompsons will do some great damage on the retreat. Maybe wipe out this Panzer squad. Hummel barrage nails something. Panzerstruck does get dropped there. Rangers cannot pick it up, but another Rifleman squad can pick it up. Looks like the Rangers dropped a couple models there from the Hummel barrage.
In the perimeter, our base is under attack.
a couple rounds there onto the Panzer Support Command.
Our forward supply lines are broken.
Even if the engineers pick up that bazooka, was our rifleman squad advancing forward, trying to pick up that bazooka and then retreat back? Okay, that was his own AT gun being scuttled. Oops. We got a Schimwagen kept at the center of the map, and the rifleman squad does pick up that Panther Strike, but does drop a bar and his life.
The enemy is stealing a victory point from beneath our noses.
So now there's a spare bar there, picked up by a Panzer Strike squad.
The enemy has moved against one of Germany's victory points.
Thompson Rangers does receive a bit of fire there. There's a bit too many squads here, but the rifleman squad could stop decapturing that point and engage the Panzer Grenadiers. Schimwagen pushed the way forward. The Hummel's here. The 222 is dead. Can't remember when that went down, but either way, it is fully dead. And looks like the Schimwagen does spot that landmine. Start focusing down the landmine. Does get a penetrating bullet and does blow it up now. Five Panzer Grenadiers, one Hummel. Oh, M2 now raining on in. And that round will range short. One good hit could have done a lot of damage. These Panzer Grenadiers are just blobbing everywhere. So the off-map howitzer or the on-map howitzer could be very effective versus blobs. He also knows about the Hummel. He could potentially transition to something in the armor tank depot. He has plenty of fuel, so he could go for a Sherman tank or even a Crocodile. US landmine right here. He may find it, but if this G43 squad a bit in advance, he will find it with one squad. Not his entire army like he did last time.
MP-44 have been issued.
And now we do have some MP-44s, some STG-44s deployed on out. The VPs are still in favor of the Panzer League player, 462-21, and he does have the VP advantage still. Riflemen and Rangers advancing forward. There's a little bit too much force here. The Rangers could throw a frag. This army's been a bit of a blob. So throwing a frag not only will either A, do a lot of damage, or B, prevent him from really fighting. Oh, and he's going to retreat through the barrage, getting a direct hit there, getting 4 models, or 5 models. Very nice. Now Rangers going to be, and Greyhound may pursue that Schimwagen. Schimwagen does go down. Does survive another Hummel. Over here, we do have 700 manpower. He has the M2 and the off-map power to shoot. Here comes a Hummel barrage. So next up is the off-map combat group, which should be pretty close in the VPs for, or command points for. Was that 4 or 5? I think it was just 4.
Grenades have arrived.
He does have enough manpower to call it in as well. Mark II grenades deployed on the field. That's actually not bad, seeing how much his opponent's blobbing. Either A, his opponent dodges it, reducing his damage output, or B, eats the frag and has half his army get blown up. Over here, Flame Engineer does not deploy a landmine there. Some others thought he deployed a landmine there.
Rangers ready. 105 ready.
We may see this 105 firing on this group soon. Maybe not. This seems like a good time for the howitzer to start firing. It could be on cooldown.
Fixed up and ready to go.
Still nothing.
And that's the ball game. Construction finished. Rifle squad has the objective.
How do you call the vehicle from Panzer Elite? Which vehicle are you talking about?
Base is taking fire.
You talking about the Hummel?
Yes, sir.
We got a barrage here, trying to barrage the M2 howitzer. Does find a landmine there with his Panzer Grenadier. Does he have 4-man squad? Nope, he does not have 4-man squad. There's actually another squad there, one drop model. Thompson Ranger says hello to this Panzer Grenadier. That's the Panzerschreck +1 bar. Another Ranger squad pushes way forward as well, able to get some great damage on these Panzer Grenadiers. And he will potentially lose a Panzerschreck squad, does lose the Panzerschreck squad, and he may lose some more of these G43 squads. And he does wipe out one of those squads now. The other one's being pursued. Which died next to the river? Oh, the river? Talking about Schimwagen? Ah, you're talking. The Schimwagen is a substitute you can bring in other than for the Kettengrad. It's one of the alternates. You do have the Ranger squad advancing forward, trying to get some damage onto these structures. Got the M2 barrage raiding on in, and looks like he's actually backed out of the game. So that's going to be the end of the replay. Very good use of seeing Rangers. You don't really see Rangers all too often, so I always like seeing them. And that is the end of the replay. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Schimwagen? Oh, it's probably an American accent on the German words. Yep. Let's go ahead and I'm going to Alt-Tab and take a look at the replays that he requested for me to take a look at. Huh, I thought let's see. It says I downloaded this one. Oh, I did download the one that's called Scorched Farming Simulator. I downloaded it, so I'm probably going to be casting that a little bit later. And the other one is Carnage on Langraiz. Looks like I have not downloaded this one here. So let's go ahead and just get that one downloaded. Show in folder. Cut. Bring up the folder that I'm looking for. Yep, I am going to bring it up. That one paste. I'll do that one last since I will have to reload the game before that show up while the other one is available. And there's another one I want to cast because somebody else also submitted that one in for me. So. And one thing I want to do over here, get my Rumble back up and going so I can see the comments. And there we go. Let's go ahead and do this one here. This was a one that user submitted into me. Oh, how do I call the vehicle? That's, oh yeah. Yeah, now I'm realizing what you're saying. Sorry, sometimes I draw blanks. Even just reading. English may be my first language, but I'm not very good at speaking it. Oh, let's go ahead and get started. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Company Heroes 1 replay. Spawn on the bottom right side as the Panzer Elite player, we have MWOMA. Spawn on the top left side as the US Forces of Sling Ray. This replay was submitted to me, and I forget who submitted it into me. So, let's go to get started. If we got a second Panzer Kettengrad deployed on out. Over here, we got the engineers, barracks, going for Jeep or Rifleman. I'm guessing Jeep. Rifleman. I always guess wrong. Like the Panzer Elite music, so let's get that going. And of course we interrupted.
Awaiting command. Loud and clear. Send.
Oh yeah. I have a feeling that this is going to be there's maybe a bit toxic language on this one here. Cause this may now become a grudge match. I'm not gonna get in the whole Palestine Israel debate because I don't really know much adequate amount to make a real decent comment on that. So be careful of any sort of there's gonna be toxic language, I'm guessing. Or maybe not, who knows? Engineer squad does find the Panzer Grenadier, who are just now being upgraded G43s. Rifleman and engineers going to try to overrun the Panzer Grenadier squad, and with the two squads here, they may have a bit of trouble. We got another Panzer Grenadier behind the light cover, and we've got these Rifleman squads seeing a bit of fire. And over here, we do have the Kettengrad trolling around. We got the engineers captured at this point. Two Panzer Grenadiers over here, getting some good damage there on the riflemen. Rifleman squad does go ahead and soft retreat away. They are being pursued by the Panzer Grenadiers, but of course the river will slow them down a little bit. After all, walking in water is not the quickest thing. Or running in water. And it has to be very, very noisy. Panzer Grenadier still trying to pursue these forces. He's just going to try to soft retreat away. He's going to get a lot of attrition damage. He's not doing a lot of damage in return. He's doing a decent amount, but nothing too significant. And there's nothing he's retreating back to. So he's splitting up the squads there. He's pursuing the engineer, looks like. Rifleman squad will back away. So this will, of course, allow the riflemen perhaps fall back and regroup quicker. And now the engineers are going to be slowly whittled down. Of course, this also makes it so the Panzer Grenadiers not capturing up sectors. We got another Panzer Grenadier here. Kaliningrad has stopped capturing up the munitions point. And now we've got this engineer squad falling on back. Point has been captured on up. Got this Panzer Grenadier forcing back that rifleman squad. Now here got the engineers captured this point and this rifleman squad advancing forward. You have an early triage center deployed on the field. Usually we see a supply yard and motor pool before a triage center, but either way, it's going to keep his units nice and healthy. These Panzer Grenadiers are making their way down south. Munitions point being captured on up.
The Yankees are grabbing our
And now this
territory.
cutoff point will be decaptured. Since he hasn't captured the munitions point, this fuel point will be cut off when that point gets decaptured. Panzer Grenadiers coming over here to respond to it. Won't be able to make use of this heavy cover. Could advance over here to this light cover. Oh nope, the rifleman squad will say nope. So he probably won't be able to interrupt this decapture. He doesn't. The US player does not need to fully capture it because it's just a regular strategic point and won't be in supply or anything of that sort. Rifleman squad's focusing down the more exposed Panzer Grenadier, which is good. It's also much more wounded compared to the other one. This Panzer Grenadier is advancing forward. Is behind some heavy cover. There's, I think, the first squad as well. We have 4 Panzer Grenadiers squad on the field, as well as 2 Kaliningrads. Strategic point being captured on up. We do have the munitions point over here being captured up, but this is the cutoff point that he's cutting off. Notice the rifleman squads do fall back entirely. Down here is the engineers. They will capture the fuel point. It will not be in supply. But they're going to be backing off this point here to try to get it into supply. Kaliningrad does receive some bullets there from the rifleman squads. We do have the point being captured up now. And right now this Kaliningrad is doing a good job of just capturing, decapturing, and being also much of a nuisance to the US player. D43 squad could advance, could find a good angle onto this rifleman. It's wounded and down to 2 models. The rifleman squad does fall back nice and early, which does mean he can get healed up. Barracks being employed out something. Sticky bombs. Maybe in this case, maybe a little bit too early. We do got the logistics company I'll be employed on out. Logistics company, he may be eyeing for the 4-man squad upgrade, which I'm a big fan of that upgrade. And that Panzer Grenadier squad does get that point decaptured, which does cut off this munitions and fuel point as well. And the Rifleman squad are going to rectify that quickly.
Composition B is in. Troops can now make sticky bombs.
Sticky bombs now available, and now the Kaliningrad would receive some sticky bombs. We do also have a Panzerjäger command. Let's switch it back over here. Let's see what's going to pulling out. I see nothing on the build queue. We do got. Wait, that's mortar research. Okay. Is he eyeing for martyrs? Our squad now receiving a bit of fire from these Panzer Grenadiers. We'll probably be forced back relatively soon.
No contact.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Rifleman squad trying to get this VP. Panzer Grenadiers are in pursuit. Over here, may see pretty good engagement. 4 Panzer Grenadiers here. We do also have, looks like, 2 riflemen and the Flamer Engineer.
Territory out of supply. Forward supply lines are broken.
And now we've got this. Rifleman squad does fall on back. This rifleman's heading to this heavy cover now.
Standing by.
And now we do have a medic station being employed on out. Maybe a little bit too far forward. But it will, of course, allow him to get medics pretty far out in the field. Also a little bit too exposed. Lucy does cancel it. Very nice. Because right now, I think right here is probably a bit of a better spot for that medic station. Or around this region here. Just a little bit farther back, but a lot less exposed to small arms fire. And the medic radius of the US medic station is so large, the fact that it may
Now capable of
be
larger
too large,
squads.
so the medics charge forward and find already expired casualties. This Panzer Grenadier squad is an upgraded STGs, very nice. 4-man squad will really be beneficial for those STGs.
Steady up,
Does he have 4-man upgrade? I see them all quite wounded. Maybe they need reinforced. I wasn't really paying attention. Oh, there's a squad size increase I just saw as well. So he does have the 4-man squad now.
The enemy is stealing a victory point from beneath our noses.
Rifleman squads are now making their way up the hill.
No enemy contact in area.
Strategic point being captured on up. We've got this rifleman squad going for this strategic point now. And the HG is going straight for the VP. They are upgraded with flamethrower.
The objective is ours. Combat ready.
Munitions points has been captured. We do have this fuel point being captured up now, and these rifleman squad heading to this munitions point.
Don't fuck up. Build complete. Squad standing ready.
Our munition stores are under attack.
We do now have the Kampfgruppe company now deployed on the field. He may be eyeing for the Panzer Corps command. May not have enough resources, but maybe he already has it queued up.
The enemy is impacting Kampfgruppe
Nope, these guys look like just generally moving forward.
Form up.
US players pushing across all fronts of the map. We got ooh,
And accounted for.
stealth Kaliningrad, which means Luftwaffe ground forces. So no doctrine he's gone for. US player has spent command points as well, so we may have some sort of doctrine selected. It could be infantry for field defenses. It could be armor because there's both the abilities on both paths. The first abilities are not exposed here. Definitely not airborne though. So it's either infantry or armor.
We are losing a sector.
Next station now deployed on out. We do have it right here. That is a pretty good spot. Won't receive a lot of small arms fire, and we'll have good coverage on this map, which tends to a lot of engagements happen. We got 3 VPs in favor of the US player at the moment, so the margins of the VPs are greatly shrinking. Now we've got this Panzer Grenadier squad does fall back, and we do have these Panzer Grenadier squads trying to eye some points. Kaliningrad trying to capture this cutoff point, but this point here is preventing the cutoff. This point now being captured on up or
Our front
decaptured.
lines are collapsing.
Kaliningrad has claimed the VP on the left flank. And these Panzer Grenadiers are starting to push their way forward. They're currently unupgraded.
We're losing ground out there.
Ooh, this Kaliningrad is severely wounded. Flame Engineers try to get inside the garrison. They do, but they're going to be out of range, so going to receive a lot of bolt action fire there. Rifleman squad could stay behind a slight cover, but the 4-man squads does push, make a lot of punch. STG squad does fall back. We do also have this STG squad here as well. This STG squad is on negative ground there. The rifleman now negative ground as well. Landmine was spotted there, or not necessarily spotted, but discovered with a pair of feet. Medic now charging forward, trying to pick up this rifleman casualty there.
Paratroop unit
There
is
may
ready
be
to
one
make
here
their
as well.
job.
Yep, looks like 2 casualties being covered. Oh, I guess he did just had less command points than his opponent, because we do have now airborne infantry
Going
available.
after a fuel point.
So
One of
I was
ours.
mistaken on what doctrine. Now we know what doctrine's gone for. Do have the fresh squad of paratroopers employed on out, right here. Which of course he will have access to recoilless rifles. Rifleman squad getting some fire onto that Panzer Grenadier. Kaliningrad will manage to sneak his way out of here. Landmine being employed on out there. Kaliningrad has successfully fjorded the river. And do have another airborne squad being employed on out. I love how if you click on it nice and early, you get to see the whole drop down. Panzer Grenadier squads do fall back. They have received quite a bit of fire, but they didn't drop a lot of models there, so that's pretty good. Landmine was not fully built. I'm not sure that's good or bad. It means he doesn't get any more casualties, but good means that he could perhaps just wait for it and something else comes over. Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward.
We hold the initiative. At this rate, we'll be taking Berlin by Christmas.
And
Our
that's also
supply
one of the
lines
worst
are
things you
being
could say.
Point is ours. We'll
Get
take
something
line
done before
down.
Christmas. Because you're never there, never home by Christmas.
Airborne here.
Two Rifleman squads, he has upgraded the airborne troops with recoilless rifles. We do now have the support weapons center. I thought it was going to be supply yard. We don't see the supply yard just yet. STGs do find the medic station. That airborne squad has to be very careful not to throw his fire shots into the medic station. Medic station is relatively durable versus STG fire. Rifleman will get a lot of free damage there. Recoilless rifles do miss the medic station, and now the Kaliningrad will say hello and goodbye. Medic station still receiving quite a bit of fire. Let's go and try to really focus it down. Only 3 casualties have been claimed so far, and got another STG. He's going straight mass STGs, isn't he?
We're losing a fuel sector.
And there goes the medic station. STG squad is advancing forward. Russian Rifle squad needs to get that light cover. And needs to focus down the Rifleman squad in the river first. Able to receive some extra damage. We've got a fresh airborne squad. We've got a
Grenades
third
arrived.
airborne, and now we also have grenades. Does use suppressive fire there. Does use fired up. Needs to issue a stop order command so he can start actually standing up. And nice grenade there.
We
That
have
Panzer
300
Grenadier squad
points left.
severely wounded. And does not get wiped out. Kaliningrad does camouflage. And now we do have a supply yard deployed on the field. He may be eyeing not to go for the motor pool nor tank depot at the current rate.
The supply yard is ready to go.
We're losing a munitions point.
Fighting strength. Point is ours. We'll take
VP, oh not VP, munitions point being decaptured now. Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward. That's a lot of STGs. Let's switch over to his composition. Yep, just straight up STGs and G43. His opponent's going for a lot of paratroopers and riflemen. And seeing all those paratroopers, he may want to not go for... That looks like the same level of Panther research. I don't really like people's obsession with using Panthers all the time. Come on, bring in some other assets, like the Panzer IV-C. In this case, seeing those airborne troops, you may want to go for other things than a lot of armor. Something more geared towards anti-infantry. If he has Hotchkisses, that wouldn't be half bad either. Get some Warframe upgrades on them.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Airborne troops going for this cutoff point. Very nice. And Rifleman just going to be eyeing for this heavy cover.
Fiona
SCG squads have claimed these 2 points. Does find the airborne troops there. And looks like it's going to force back the airborne troops. No problem. We now have a Panther advancing forward. Riflemen do have access to sticky bombs. That was one of the first things he deployed out on the field. Rifle squad has seen quite a bit of fire. Does fully retreat. He does go ahead. He may get wiped out. It depends on what this Panzer Grenadier does. 2 models remain. And looks like he's going to go ahead and run all the way back home with no problem. We also have a observation post on this munitions point. Very nice. He is, of course, airborne. Getting an extra munitions point income would be very, very important, bringing all of us off maps.
Target captured.
Rifle squad does force back on the
The enemy
G43
has moved
squads.
against one of Germany's victory points.
Be capturing up both of those points right now.
One of
We
our
do got the
sections has
Kettengrad
been
capture
cut
the
off.
right VP as well. Overall, it's just been a game of mostly just running back and forth, capturing VPs. Nothing too significant in like full-on fights.
Our supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
Another airborne squad? That's 4, right? Now there's 4 airborne troops. One has not been upgraded with the recoilless rifles as well. We have the Paradrop AT guns available as well. And this SCG squad looks like will go down to a very nice frag. Not sure it's from the Rifleman squad or one of the paratroopers. Seeing the 6 kills there, it was from the paratroopers.
Hitting one of our
Panther now sending some rounds to the observation post.
Point is ours. What say we lock it down? Listen up, people.
SCG squad does force back the paratroopers. They did not get the
Our
point
front lines
captured
are
up.
collapsing.
I hear a landmine detonation somewhere.
Listen up, rifle squad.
Riflemen, airborne troops capturing up these sectors. Very nice. Over here, we've got the SCG squad's advancing forward. We'll see.
a fuel sector.
In G43 squad, we'll see some flamer bursts there from the engineer.
The enemy is down to 300 points. We're losing a strategic sector.
As Grenadier receiving quite a bit of fire there from the Rifleman squad. Does fall back nice and early.
Enemy unit down.
Ooh, and looks like the Kettengrad does go down through the recoilless rifles. Rifleman squad maybe trying to charge forward for a sticky bomb on one of these Panthers, but it is getting whittled down by the Panthers as well. Sticky bomb does get thrown. Let's see what damage it gets. Does get a damage crit there. The airborne troops here does have a close rifle. Rifleman squad does full withdrawal. And this SCG squad will get picked apart by these bars. The squad falls back there, and now we've got a big wave of forces advancing forward. 3 out of the 4 paratroopers do have recoilless rifles, and not to mention, 2 of the paratroopers do have Veteran C1. Good kills there on the paratroopers from the Panther. Though luckily, there's plenty of target practice for them because a bunch of free guys are dropping on in, or not so free guys.
Back at full fighting strength.
Sector being captured.
We got enemy troop movement.
Rifleman squad does see quite a bit of damage there. It needs to fall back. I don't think there's a rebuilt medic station either, so the US player could try to get another medic station. Engineers may go down here. Does find a landmine there. Engineer's still somehow alive, not being focused down. Gets a full retreat now. And that engineer does receive a bit of fire there. And the engineer squad does fall back. Or Panzer Grenadier. Somehow that engineer does survive.
Our fuel point is being taken by the enemy.
No fear, we got this Panther advancing forward, trying to get some good damage on in. That's what I'm hearing. Panthers advancing forward, trying to throw some rounds there onto the machine gun placement. Pulse rifles trying to get some good shots there on the Panther. Finds one good hit. And Kenneth does not receive a sticky bomb there. It does manage to camouflage away. And this rifleman squad is captured the fuel point now. As Grenadiers advancing forward is going to see some fire. This is an unupgraded squad, and now do also have the supply drops coming on in. He does not really need the ooh, great grenade there, and a good full squad wipe there.
Territory sector being captured.
He does not really need the MG nor the mortar. No, especially not the mortar. The MG could be a bit useful. Set it on one of the flanks, so the Panthers could displace him, no problem. Maybe grab one MG, put on the left VP, help protect it.
We're losing a munitions point.
Panzer Grenadiers trying to capture up multiple points. SCJ squads push some way over to the right.
Supply lines are broken.
Oh, and I heard a landmine detonation
Cut off
there.
from supply. Forward supply line out there.
AT gun sitting on up. Good hits there on the barracks. One round does connect.
Supply lines are broken. We have
Panther
territory
down
out
below
of
half
supply.
health. The close rifle does get a rear armor hit there. Another good hit there. AT gun may find one more shot there. No, does not. Paratroopers now engaging STJ squad. Does see some cannon fire there from the Panthers. Just on eye for some pot shots across the river. The Recoilless Rifle Squad gets tied up right there. Gets stuck by the other squad. Grenade does come forward and does get avoided.
We have a threat to our victory point. Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
I heard a landmine detonation there. Panzer Grenadier squad does receive a
Our
landmine.
supply lines are being threatened.
And this Panzer Grenadier squad does fall back as well. We do have a handful of recoilless rifle hits there. I don't see a sticky bomb being thrown. We have another recoilless rifle upgrade.
Forward supply lines are
The
broken.
Panther does get a nice
Observation
little
posts
poke there
report
and
we are
will fall
losing a
back.
sector.
Gets veterancy 1 while at it. Let's switch over to the other Panzer player. We do see a verbal wind now pulled out of the field. The verbal wind should be able to be very effective versus these forces, barring all the recoilless rifles. Oh, there's also a US sniper. Panzer Grenadier squad does fall back there.
Fall in, man.
And you also have a Luftwaffe ground forces.
Incoming fire.
Oh, verbal wind does see some recoilless rifle there. Lots of recoilless fire here. It does go and suppress the paratrooper squad. Rifleman squad now receiving some auto cannon fire as well. Panzer Grenadiers trying to recruit up the verbal wind now. And it looks like the airborne troops going to try to fire it up, try to pursue this verbal wind. I think it'll take more than just 2 hits to take it out, however. It does get inside the garrison now. It's not exactly a great garrison. The Panzer Grenadiers could wipe them out over here. Got the rifle squads just capture some sectors. And the paratrooper squad does manage to escape on out of there in time.
We're losing a munitions depot.
Over here, got 2 Kaliningrads migrating in front and behind the Panther. As they're slowly advancing forward, getting slowed down by the river.
Territory.
Rifle squad does go and suppress this Panzer Grenadier squad. Throws out frag grenade. Good frag grenade. He may get the full squad out there. He has 4 models. And he does not get the full squad wipe. Decides to full withdrawal now. Ketagrad's migrating to the left, and STG squads just force back these various squads. Rifleman squad does throw out a sticky bomb onto this Panther. Recoilless rifles now charge on forward. Gets damage to crit there. Lots of fire there, but all of them hits the fence below. STG squads need to just charge forward and draw as much fire as possible. If he... Yep, he does fall back now. He can't really stick around and hunt down that Panther with his STG squads in the region. Good damage there on that rifle squad, but oh, drops a bar. And the rifleman squad does manage to escape on out of there, but barely.
We finished upgrading.
Victory point secure. No enemy contact.
Orders coming, men. Form up.
Crew ready.
Let's see, we currently right now have one verbal win, 5 Panzergrenadiers, 1 Luftwaffe ground forces, 2 Panthers, 2 Kaliningrads, and he's currently at pop cap. The US player decapturing sectors is actually hurting his opponent with the population. And right now the US player does have a small reserve of munitions, does have access to the air reconnaissance, and bringing in more and more supply drops now. We do have a pair of sniper rifles on the field. His observation post has gone down. He could deploy one up here. He probably should deploy one up there. Recoilless rifles advance forward. Does get a good volley there on the Panther. Does use fired up there, and the next round of recoilless rifles does take out that verbal one, and does fall back with all those paratroopers. There's so many verbal ones there. Not verbal ones, paratroopers with recoilless rifles. VPs now being captured up on the right side. The VPs are very similar, slightly in favor of the US player, but that is slowly counting down against him. Rifle squad could perhaps get a sticky bomb there on this Panther. We've got STG squads here to support. You could just charge forward and get some good damage there on that rifle squad. And the rifle squad will get forced some back. Over here we do have the Panther advancing forward, rifle squad's trying to charge forward, trying to get some sticky bombs off. And of course got the Panzergrenadiers captured at that point. Ketagrad's captured the left flank. Now we've got the big wave of Recoilless rifles advancing forward.
The enemy is after our victory. Operation posts report we are losing a sector.
Recoilless rifles advancing forward. We've got the AT gun finding some hits. We do have only the one AT gun at the moment. We may see fired up on these airborne squads, but right now they're sort of dancing, going the wrong way. Ketagrad does spot some of those forces. And these Panthers are going to be backing on off. They're a little bit wounded. Nothing too significant at the moment. And this Panzergrenadier squad does fall back as well.
Enemy unit down.
Does take out that Ketagrad. We got these STGs advancing forward, and got a good snipe hit there. 2 snipe hits onto that Panzergrenadier. And he has not retreated back, and no additional shots there. I thought they would have got a second shot off. Next section now seems to fire. We got the strength run right there, annihilating those forces. Panzergrenadiers get forced some back. They didn't lose any models, however, or squads, however. Next section will go on down. It has not managed to cover any additional casualties. I still say right there's probably been a bit better.
Engineers taking heat. Stand to.
Flame Engineers could potentially get some good hits there on this Panzergrenadier. It's a fresh squad. 2 Flame Engineers in this region, both of them down to 2 members. And over here, got the airborne troops now firing it up, trying to capture up multiple sectors at once. Ooh, we do have a Hotchkiss here. So I'm going to go with the Warframe upgrade. Panthers advancing forward.
We're losing a munitions point.
MG does go down. AT guns roll some misses there. And now we do have a supply, another supply drop being pulled on out. Here comes a Warframe barrage somewhere over here.
Point captured. Returning
We're losing ground out
And rolls a whole bunch of misses there. Hotchkiss advances forward. Hotchkiss is relatively durable. But does see a couple of close rifle hits there.
there. Forward supply lines are broken. Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Airborne, we got the point.
We're losing ground out there.
Airborne.
SCG squad trying to advance forward. We got this airborne squad here. Not all these Panzer Grenadiers are full reinforced either. Okay, we've got the two Panthers advance forward. Still, both of them are a little bit wounded. Looks like they have not been repaired on up. Paratroopers advancing forward, trying to get some good shots there, get some good hits. And we'll go and fall on back. Paratroopers advancing forward. We've got the STG squads engaging. Rifleman squads getting in close range. The three rifleman squads suppresses down one of them. Over here, something got exploded. Not so sure what. One of these Hotchkiss is severely wounded. Hotchkiss firing some shots there. Do have a Warframe barrage.
Broken.
It does get a great strafe from there, suppressing the retreating squads. Okay. Did not know you could suppress the retreating squads like that.
We're losing ground out there.
And this Panzer squad will fall back. Before the squad advances forward, we've got the Warframe barrage running on in, trying to hit those forces. This four-man squad may receive some rockets. And the barrage was quite large, but all of them really missed.
Territory cut off from supply. We are losing contact with one of our sectors.
Now this Panzer Grenadier is going to capture that strategic point. We've got the airborne troops now advancing to the center of the map. Captain Crad has captured the right side of the map as we've got these airborne troops now exhausted from
Supply lines
fired
are
up.
broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Reference squad does advance forward. May see some sticky bombs on this Hotchkiss. Panther does find a hit there as well. Panther has been fully repaired over here. The other one still needs some repairs. Grad does get spotted and immediately annihilated.
I have the point. We hold it.
Hotchkiss advance forward. We got the Panther now trying to get some hits.
Airborne, ready for duty.
And that grenade was a big whip. The airborne player does have plenty of munitions
Enemy is
for
down
a
to
strafing
200
run. He may
points.
steam up for a bombing run. This is pretty close to VP's forward.
Airborne took the point. No sign of hands.
And do have a strafing run, perhaps right around here. Great hits there. Getting both these squads pinned. Mortar has been crewed and getting some rounds onto those Panzer Grenadiers. That is over here will be a relatively good spot to help him reach the center of the map.
We have the point, and we're damn well gonna keep it.
Level 1 production has now been researched by the Allies. I'm sort of surprised it was that late.
Point is ours. Point to lock it down. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Hotchkiss now firing a barrage.
Our front lines are collapsing.
Maybe trying to hit this rifleman squad here. Ground Sukhoi all rain a bit short. Panthers does advance forward, trying to get some shots there on the AT gun. AT gun does find a good pin down to this Panther. I got this Panzer Grenadier squad falling on back. Hotchkiss, Panther rotating around, trying to get some shots on these forces. All these airborne troops have been fully reinforced. Taking damage. Oh! The reconnaissance aircraft immediately got shot down, didn't it? I see
Our field point is being taken by the enemy.
the damage indicator was actually way up here, saying aircraft was something was getting shot up.
We're losing our
Panzer Grenadier
fuel
squad
sector.
does fall back in time. Rifle squads need to start eyeing these VPs. The Allies do have a small lead in VPs. They have capture in its favor. Could make a double and triple capture. But this Panzer Grenadier is going to be captured the central part of the map as well.
We're losing ground out there.
Oshka is going to try to find some Warframe shots.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory out of supply.
It's a good hit there on the Panzer Grenadier. Rifleman squad does receive a good hit there by the Hotchkiss. Very, very close range barrage. Does get a good hit there. Force back the Rifleman squad. Both of those rounds were pretty good, but barring the fact that he was retreated back, so it sustained less damage. Hotchkiss is trying to advance forward, trying to get some good shots there. Does take out one of the Rifleman models. And does force the squad to fall back. Rifleman over here pushes way forward. So we do have a triple
The
capture
enemy
in
is
favor
down
of the
to
US
100
player.
points.
Got crowd activity over here! Rifles ready, airborne.
We got these 3 airborne troops and 2 snipers in this region. Snipers
Ready.
have 3 kills
Ready.
and 7 kills, not a whole lot. And Grenadiers are just advancing towards the left, trying to get that left VP. And of course, the Rifleman down here does get spotted by the Hotchkiss and Panthers. He's seeing a bit of fire there. Has currently dropped 2 models.
Losing ground out there.
And of course, the Panthers can go ahead and crush a bit more terrain than the Hotchkiss.
Enemy fire! Get down!
Just fall back there now. STG squad and all these Panzer Grenadiers capture the left side of the map.
We are losing a fuel point.
That's it. Construction finished.
You have some more landmines been pulled out by the US player. And over here we do have the looks like one of the Rifleman squad dropped a bar. Let's pick up the bar there with the STG squad. Not a great weapon for the STG squad to pick up. G43 is how the only squad can really pick it up, as well as the Global Ground Forces with a line in
Enemy
that
is
region.
down to 50 points.
Good hits there onto the Hotchkiss.
Enemy
And the
unit
Hotchkiss
down.
does go down to the Mastery Pulse rifles. Not sure where that Warframe project had landed. Looks like right around here. Snipers does get a shot there on the Flak Irving. It does get decrewed now. You could try recapturing it. Does have some 4-man squads for that purpose. And here comes a strafing run there. Let's a strafing run miss largely against this force. Panther now receiving a bit of fire from
Taking
these
one of our points.
paratroopers. Snipers do both fall back. Does get more shots there, and most of these paratroopers do fall back, barring this wounded one. They have all fallen back now. They may get a wipe on that 2-man squad, but it looks like not. They were spreading out their fire. Flamers advancing forward, trying to get some good damage there onto these Panzer Grenadiers. They need to fall back now.
Enemy unit down.
Is he flaming down its own? Okay, there was actually a squad up there on the one of the Panzer Grenadiers. First thought he was trying to flame down its own bunker.
Casualties being reported.
Third taking hits. Strafing run. Looks like he does get some of these squads suppressed. He does miss the 2 wounded squads that could have gotten a squad wipe.
They're going after one of our munitions points.
There's there onto the machine gun nest. machine gun nest will likely go down. AT guns trying to dissuade the Panther from being in the region, but not doing a good enough job of that. Let's get a good pen there. We do have this Transmedia squad does fall back.
Airborne, welcome to France.
MG team does go down.
Losing ground out there.
And nope, that's... I don't know why. I thought at first that was a mortar. And so we're going to hear down the one last model, trying to capture that munitions point. And over here, got the rifleman squad advancing forward, trying to get some good damage there. Fortune Jaeger squad has an upgrade to FG-42s. But does receive a couple sniper shots there. Now we got Venture C2 and Venture C1, a sniper. Has managed to find a couple kills in the retreat, but will not get wiped out.
Airborne, ready for duty.
Oh, incendiary grenade thrown, fragmentation grenade thrown. Both of them get dodged. Rifleman squad needs to fully withdraw. It's way too wounded to stick around. The Luftwaffe ground forces now seeing a lot of fire from these paratroopers.
We're losing a munitions point.
Panthers have been fully repaired, pushing the way forward once again.
Point captured.
We should have the command points here for a bombing run. Breaking run here.
Supply lines are broken.
Let's get a great hit there.
Territory cut off from supply.
So that sniper's firing away. Got this rifleman squad trying to capture that field point.
Forward supply
And the
lines
VPs is
are
not
broken.
looking good for the Panzer Lead player. Down to 35 tickets, while his opponent's at 138.
Taking fire.
Getting, Black Irving actually deployed out on the top, on the left side of the map. Rifleman squad may get wiped out. It does get wiped out.
Casualties.
But we do have actually an incredibly rare item to see of the Flak Irving. Not in the
Supply lines
base.
are broken. We have territory out of supply.
We do have some more munitions being dropped on in.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut
Musketeers
off
are trying to capture a lot of sectors. This point needs to be captured on
Supply lines
up.
are broken.
Looks like this Luftwaffe ground force is going to be handling that. And these bandits do have plenty of health remaining. In fact, they're fully healed. Clark Irving does get spotted there, receives some recoilless rifle shots. One of them does fall back.
Point is ours.
Our supply
A
lines
landmine
are
here
being
does get
threatened.
detonated by the
Supply
mortar.
lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Airborne in the hot zone!
Panther
Forward
may
supply
get some
lines are
hits there from the recoilless rifles. We've got the FG-42s advancing forward. Does get a nice frag grenade there onto the Bolshevik Jaegers. And he does throw a Cindy grenade in return. Does fall back to the airborne
Sector being
squad.
captured.
And up north, we've got these forces capturing up those sectors. AT gun in the region, 2 AT guns in the region.
Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
And mortars now running on in, but rolling the larger misses.
Supply lines are broken.
Airborne.
We have Enemy territory unit cut off down. from supply.
Sniper under fire.
Snipers do fall back. Looks like we have some butterfly bombs. US player does not have any more engineers on the field, so he will deploy out a minesweeper to help clean those up. The Panzer Lead player does have a good reserve of manpower and fuel as well. And right now has a lot of forces. Does find a landmine right there.
Waiting for orders.
And Fortune Makers do capture that point, while the paratroopers do fall on back.
Build complete.
Squad standing ready.
Most of the Panzer League players going for more Flak Irvings, trying to keep these VPs secure. You could actually get a squad inside of the HQ, deploy, upgrade it, and then that way the Flak Irving has a health regen. At least their infantry models there, rather than the gun health. 3 US snipers go on the field. One of them goes down. It was the unvetted one. We got another medic station pulling out, picking up a unit, and does get annihilated now. SCG squad does engage the airborne squad.
Ahead with orders.
Looks like the SCG squad will get some great damage right there. Luftwaffe ground forces do fall back.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Panzer Grenadiers, first squad of Panzer Grenadiers deployed out on the field. Panthers race forward, trying to dissuade these paratroopers from sticking around. Does receive a shot there. Doesn't receive a hit, however. Rockford will capture up the flanks.
Forward supply lines are broken.
And do have the airborne squad does use fired up. Does receive some automatic weapon fire from the FG-42s.
Superior forces and tactics have reduced the enemy to 50 points.
And receiving a bit too much
We are
damage right
losing
there.
a munitions depot. One of our
That point
sectors
should
has
be able to
been
get
cut off.
protected from the Fallujah Jaegers. Just get +1 accuracy now, and the paratrooper squad will likely get wiped out.
An enemy unit has fallen to our might.
Lucky Irving here getting decrewed by the snipers. It takes all 3 shots to take it out. Pulse Rifle does find some hits there onto that Panther. Panther's now down to half health. Oh, and that Pulse Rifle really didn't want to fire up. Fired up has been activated, does get the point decrewed. Looks like a fresh airborne troop deployed on now, trying to get that point decaptured. The VPs are now very, very similar, 35 to 35. Let's get a great crush there, annihilating that airborne squad. AT gun, oh, that's a AT gun and a airborne squad. Let's pick up the Flak Irving himself. This airborne squad needs to start capturing that point. Snipers currently camouflage this region. If it's contesting the central part of the map, and the Panzer League player has a firm grasp over there. AT gun does get decrewed. Stinky bomb was. No, that's demolition charge.
The enemy is down to
There's a good hit down the Panthers. Snipers do find a hit there on the Fallujah Jaegers.
Contact! Food spike! Suppressive fire!
And we do have a recon run coming over here.
We have eliminated the enemy once more.
It's still a triple capture against the US player, and there's no way we can capture up those points
We
now.
are losing
So that's
a
going to be the
sector.
end of the replay. This is Anne Grade saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. And done. Yep, on to the next replay. Before I cast the next replay, I do need to use the restroom. I'll be right back. Here we go. I am back. Let's see now. That was this one. I also downloaded it twice, so I made sure I can see it quite easily. And now to that replay that was requested. It was this one right here. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, something I just realized as well. The chat over here was actually not properly posting, and I just realized that. My apologies. Hopefully that now properly tracks. And hopefully that doesn't go one thing. Yep, doesn't do the black issue. Yep, perfect. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another WOS 1 replay. So on the right side as the Panzer League player, we have Noob. On the bottom side as the see booby trap bowling ability obtained, so he's got us to Scorched Earth. Spawn as his Wehrmacht ally, we have End Def It Delirium. I'm probably butchering that really poorly. Over here as the British forces, we have Skiff. As the other British player, we have Hi. Yep, sorry I missed those comments. Since it didn't load up it didn't properly display the comments in my little bar over there, so I didn't realize you guys were chatting out. And sorry, I didn't see the rank of that match. My apologies.
Yeah?
We do, of course, have the Kaliningrad crashing up north. We do, of course, have looks like just Panzer Grenadiers. No additional Kaliningrad. We do have now the Bren carrier now engaging the Kaliningrad now. Getting some automatic weapon fire onto it. We have the scope rifle squad here as well. He may be trying to I can't speak today, can I? Bully away those scope rifles and then try to capture the point, but he did not. This Pioneer's trying to repair up the Kaliningrad for his teammate, but looks like he's not. Scope G43 squad advancing forward as we got the scope rifle squad behind some heavy cover now. That's going to be some high-level play, looks like. Point secure. And speaking about him, he is, of course, secured up this point here. Oh, I never seen him. Also, I don't think I usually see the British player deploy out at HQ right here. Usually that's like right here. So this is an unusual spot, and that, of course, denies their opponents this munitions point. And this is on their side of the map, so this is going to be a very aggressive play. If we switch over the Brits as well, plus 18 munitions. It's going to be a good amount of munitions, but we do have the G43 in Pioneer in this region, but they will have trouble versus penetrating the HQ command truck. Up north, we've got the Bren carrier advancing forward with some scope rifles on the back. Panzer Grenadiers engaging the Bren carrier now, and the Kenigrad's drawing a lot of fire there. Do have a motorcycle in this region. Over here, we've got the G43 squad trying to eye for this garrison. Tommy's in behind some light cover. And we've got the other British player now packed up his truck, so these other sectors are out of supply, they're not the one attached to this HQ command truck. His teammate has bring forward some Tommies to support his Tommies. Of course, with a Pioneer inside the garrison, it's not exactly a great spot. Honestly, Pioneers will have trouble versus anything in that situation, unless they have a flamer. Bren carrier pushes way forward with the scope rifle in the back. We got, of course, the G43 squad firing some rounds onto the HQ command truck, getting 0 damage onto it. Panzer Grenadiers on the high ground, falling back out away from the road. We got the G43 squad backing off to the light cover there. As we got the Tommies now advancing forward, since he's in supply, he can run around normally. But now they're slowed down, and now this motorcycle is getting some good damage there onto the infantry section. Scope rifle squad has dismounted from the Bren carrier, forcing back the G43 squad. And now we do have an MG42 on the high ground. 2 MG42s on the high ground. They may be able to lock down this area with suppression if they can't get the kill on the truck. Likely either the Panzer Grenadier player or will need to go for Panzertrex, or the Wehrmacht player needs to go for some Grenadiers because of Panzertrex as well. They need to displace HQ command truck as soon as possible. Luckily, they can. This garrison can't really fire against this HQ command truck because all these are doors and not windows. And I don't think a window here can fire across that HQ command truck. But they do have to make sure this building remains secure or unloaded or ungarrisoned. There's the term I'm looking for. We have some rifle grenades deployed on now in the field. Does finally get some suppression on that squad. 2 MG42s can eventually get unit behind heavy cover suppressed. Now do have the lieutenant being deployed on out. We also have these sectors not in supply of this munitions. So this point is captured by the Panzer League player, and most of the scope rifle or regular rifle Tommy squad trying to change that. Rifle grenades are advancing forward. Motorcycle coming for reconnaissance, trying to spot for his forces. Of course, now we've got the 2 MG42s engaging. When I say 2 MG42s, I mean the motorcycle MG42 and the MG42 weapon. The other one's not actually engaging. Bren carrier now mounting on up with a Bren gun in the back. So it is actually a Bren carrier. And that Bren carrier is getting some great damage on in, firing out from all angles there, forcing back both those Panzer Grenadiers, allowing the scope rifles to advance forward to that point, and does take time to button down that Kaliningrad and perhaps gun it down as well. Booby trap hasn't triggered. He's not responding to it. Oh no.
German target section destroyed.
And does lose that entire Tommy squad to an incendiary trap from the Kaliningrad. Lieutenant advancing forward. Panzer Grenadiers in this region. Now we got the Panzer Grenadiers receiving quite a bit of fire from this Bren carrier. Bren carrier does force back one of those Panzer Grenadiers. He needs a Panzer Strike or AT grenades. Okay, that's a ludicrous idea. Is this free? I'm not sure what you mean. Company Heroes 1 is not a free game. It is an old game, so likely is you can get it for cheap, and likely when it comes to sale, you probably get it for dirt cheap. Bren carrier does go down. We do have the Bren gun getting suppressed by the MG42. And we do have now the Bren squad does falling back. Sniper does get one kill there, so there could be a dead Bren squad. And apparently there's a landmine there that does get detonated. Scope rifle or Bren squad being pursued. Autocan does not get the wipe there, surprising enough. Did get the squad wipe there on the sniper, however. Scope rifle squad advancing forward, trying to get some rounds there. And do have the motorcycle falling on back as well. You have another Bren gun being upgraded, so he's now what, 2 Bren gunners. Bren gunners advancing forward. Lieutenant here to support him as well, so he's able to move at full speed out of supply. And now the motorcycle getting annihilated. Engine's damaged, so it does go down. And ooh, these Panzer Grenadiers are getting ripped apart by the Bren gun. We have the second 2-2 now to go on the field, and if you look at the mini map, you have a lot of sectors claimed by the Allies. So seriously, the majority of the map has been claimed by the Allies, giving a front line, an extra set of front line forward. The other HQ command truck is usually the standard location there on this munitions point, so the Brits are maintaining very, very good supply of munitions. Gotta feed their very hungry guns. Scope rifle squad, Bren squad getting some damage there onto the rear armor of the armored car, the 222. We do now have a bunker being deployed on out. Probably going to be a repair bunker based on its positioning. Let's take a look at everybody's loadout and things of that sort. We do have, of course, 2 Bren guns, 1 scope rifle, 1 lieutenant.
Go ahead and send.
And now going for his infantry support truck. Over for the other Brit, we do have 2 lieutenants, a rifle grenadier, guy with rifle grenades, and 2 scope rifle squads. So he does have his infantry support truck. We do got sappers now on the field. Based on their position right now, they could go for a Stuart, or they could go ahead and perhaps what's it called? Go for some early armored command posts. Add the fog war? For a short time I will, if you want to see what they see. Scope rifle is able to see for quite a bit of range. I sort of like to keep fog of war off so I can see everything that's going on in the background. Pack 38 was camouflage right there, so once they packed on up, they didn't spot it. Now we do have the lieutenant's officer artillery rating on it, but he may splash himself a little bit there. Mass retreat right over here now. We got the scope rifles behind that heavy cover there. And you got the Panzer Grenadiers to be capturing that point as well. Over for the one of the Panzer or the Wehrmacht player, we do have a Grenadwerfer, 2 MGs, and a Grenadier. He's lost his Pioneers and the Sniper. He has a bit of reserve of munitions or manpower. And nothing being upgraded, nothing being deployed at the moment. Doesn't have his Kampfgruppe company. Scope rifles advancing forward, trying to, and Bren squad engaging that Panzer Grenadier. There's a lieutenant to support them. And over here, we do have looks like a slit trench as well as some scope rifles advancing forward. They have a Stormtrooper squad now available, or he has a Stormtrooper squad now available to be called in. M42 does get some great suppression of these forces as we got the Piats getting some hits there on the armored car. These forces are advancing forward, trying to get some good damage on in. And does go ahead and get some good suppression onto those squads as well. The MG42's been in a great position to defend, but they haven't been able to get any good offensive damage in. You could go for some stormtroopers, get a little double panic truck in order to take on the HQ command truck. For his teammate, we do have, let's see now, 2 armored cars, 4 Panzer Grenadiers. Does have Panzer Support Command, Engineer Command, and the Kampfgruppe Company. Unknown what abilities he's upgraded. He's now going for the base healing. Over here, do got the Brendan squads advance forward with the Scope Rifle squad in the rear. The 2 is advance forward, trying to get some good auto cannon fire onto these forces. And this Lit Trench is still crewed, firing rifle grenades. So that's where he kept his rifle grenadier. Grenadier squad does fall back. And these forces, and we do have a support of a captain on this region, getting some good so able to get some good damage resistance there. But of course, these Britain squads are very, very wounded. These two have plenty of health remaining, and it sounds like got a 25-pounder raining on in somewhere. Or nope, just also artillery. These Ptolemy's are just getting ripped apart. He needs to pull out more of a counter for these 2-2s if he's going to push forward like that. Now we got a pair of Pete's Fates forward with 2 lieutenants nearby. He does have, neither of them have heroic charge available, so the suppression of an MG42 is very, very, very important. So as all these forces do have the Stuart now advancing forward, trying to get some good damage onto these 2-2s. And there's of course that Pack 38 from his teammate his way forward. And we do have a Goliath being pulled out, I think, because there's also the repair bunker upgrade, so that has to be a Goliath. Fresh Goliath deployed on out. And let's see what's going on over here. Does get a fresh Ptolemy that could have been from the casualty clearing station. And he's saying kill medis, so likely they see a lot of medics. Goliath is not camouflaged. The Goliath receives a damage engine crit. Autocannon's not going to hit the rear armor of that Stuart a little bit. And looks like the Pioneer is actually going to repair up that Goliath there. The repair Pioneer. Goodness there, main gun destroyed. The 2-2s could have pursued it and got some good rear armor hits. Scope Rifle squad will be decaptured from the fuel point, as with the munitions point being decaptured as well. Multiple Pantrix have been completed. And we also have a light ATF track as well. Maybe going a little bit overkill on anti-vehicle. But it's doing some good anti-infantry damage, so maybe not. These are both also attack accuracy armor cars. Able to get some good damage on these forces. The heroic charge will charge them to their death. Now got the Pantrix advancing forward. The captain does fall back. He may be able to kill off the captain. No, he's not going to focus him down. The unupgraded squad does fall back. Oop, does get button down that armor car. We're seeing quite a bit of fire there. And does get annihilated. Grenadier does receive, Panzer Grenadier does get wiped out right there. A little bit too, can't be losing squads like that as well as vehicles. Now we do have a Stu out the field. The Stu exactly need to help hit these infantry forces. These forces are getting constantly suppressed within. Captain does go down as well. He does have efficiency 1 of the lieutenant, so he does have access to heroic charge now. I heard that Goliath. Yeah, Goliath is actually advancing forward. He sees retreating squads. He's taking the opportunity to hunt down these guys. If you can blow it up when they get done retreating, blow up all these squads. And I think his teammate just blew up his Goliath. Oops. Friendly fire there. Pack light attack tracking good hits there onto the light super. There may be a repair sapper in this region. Because I thought Curtis Warren got direct hit there. Stu's moving around. We got the Stu being button. Stormtroopers are in some light cover, getting some good damage on in. Stuart space forward does hunt the light ATF track. Light ATF track is getting button as well, so that may be a dead light ATF track. Full control there. Pack 38 firing. Or maybe not. Light ATF track doesn't manage to escape on out of there. Pantrix advancing forward. Stu getting some great damage on in. Hand-Track does connect, and the Scope Rifle squad does fall back as well. The Panzer League player should get a more half-track. His teammate has a Grenade Warfare as well. And now we do have, looks like more Officer Artillery raiding on in, force back the Stu and a Panzerschreck squad. These forces need reinforced and repaired and healed up, all that sort. We got the 2-2 on top of the high ground, triple accuracy, efficiency, getting prepared to follow combat as well. Bren Gunner is getting ripped apart. And now there's a Cromwell on the field, getting fully immobilized from the light half-track. And does get destroyed engine crit as well. The Sappers will need to take time to repair it up. I don't think it's going to save that Cromwell. Stu could get some more shots onto it. 2 Stus are on the field. That shot ran a little bit far. Do now have a deadly hit there onto this Pack 38. Cromwell's still alive. We're going to see some more hits there. Pack 38 managed to skip out of the barrage. Panzer squad does go down. Stu 2-2, so has plenty of health. Got Sappers now charging on his way forward. He's a good hit there with his Stu. Just going to pluck him light ATF track. That captain's being very, very problematic since in that. Oh wait, nope, never mind, not the captain. We've got a Kangaroo. He quickly loads up everything there to save his forces. We've got a random Kangaroo here. Loads up all of the squads on the inside. He may just want to fall back and get them healed up. We've got a Goliath now charging forward. I'm not sure what Goliath looks like against a Kangaroo. Apparently it looks like that. Does take out that 2-2 as well. Kangaroo now charging forward. It has so many squads inside. Let's take a look at him selected. Has a Scope Rifle squad, Bren Gun, Lieutenant, and Piet squad. He may want to dismount some of the at least a Scope Rifle squad. Hand-Track's trying to pursue that Kangaroo. Cromwell is advancing forward. Let's see, this player may have not, the British player I have selected may have not selected the Doctrine just yet because he has 5 command points. Right now, the Allies have all 500 tickets still. The opponents only have 250. Let's take a look at other players. Let's see now. This British player has 2 Scope Rifles, Rifle Grenades, Piet, Lieutenant with a Piet. So that Sapper may have 1 less Piet. Okay, looks like one of them's going for Panthers, and that will be the Panzer League player. We got, of course, 2 Stus here. Stormtroopers, no upgrades at the moment. A Grenade Warfare. I would say go for another Grenade Warfare. That wouldn't be half bad. The problem is he does not have enough manpower for it. And of course, has a couple MG42s have been very, very good this game, honestly. And of course, 1 Grenadier. Asking his teammate to go for some Flamers. Over here, do have a pair of Panthers now deployed on the field. Does not have much ammo or manpower, honestly. Stus and Panthers can make their advance. The Panthers can help displace these various structures, vehicles. Nothing is heavy enough to really engage the Panther. There's of course a handful of Piets you could use, as well as buttons. They do have a good number of buttons at least. Panthers advancing forward. We do have, of course, the split trench here. We may not have access to incendiary grenades. We also have a stag hound on the field, so we may be going for some Fireflies. Panthers advancing forward. Cromwell's falling back. We do have a 25-pounder right here. And no planks right there. That's must have been one that's gone for artillery. Stu's getting some decent hits there on those Bren guns. Let's get a hit there on those Sappers. Scope Rifle squad does get pinned by the MG42. Grenadiers here to support. We got this Kangaroo advancing forward with a Staghound support. I'm not sure what's loaded at the back of it. Looks like Bren, Lieutenant, and Piet. So the Kicker is almost down. 25 pounder barrage does take out the Pack 38. Now all these forces do fall back on the Kangaroo runaway on zone 4. Does receive a miss there from the Panther. Stu looks like it's a good submarine armor hits there onto the Staghound. Destroyed engine crit there. Does spot the Stormtroopers there with the Kangaroo. And does get main destroyed crit and goes down. Scope Rifle Squad capturing up that missions point. Sludge Trench still crewed up by a Bren Gunner. Tommy advancing forward. You got the Panther skirmishing around. Got some artillery raining on in, or Stu's raining on in. Stormtroopers slowly advancing forward. Unupgraded still. Some PS do find some hits there on the Panther. Firing some rounds over the house. Three Panther squads advance forward. Two of them which are tank busters. And now we do have a 70 pounder being pulled down. Will immediately receive Panther fire. Gets good hits there. 70 pounders almost down. Panther line up a shot. And there goes the 25 pounder to the Panther Tracks. Good hit there on the Staghound. The officer artillery raining on in. Does fall back with those squads. One of them may get lost. Staghound does fall back with time. And Stormtroopers manage to get inside the Slit Trench. And now with the shoot support as well, that should be a lot of indirect fire. Losing that Slit Trench and not getting its scuttle is actually a massive, massive problem. These are raining on into the Panther. These Stormtroopers will not be displaced anytime soon. Shoes mainly want to get them force firing manually over the more preference spot. Maybe just hit that casual clearing station. Everything here is very, very juicy targets. Does take out the casual clearing station. I think that's a Hummel barrage raining on in as well. Now Tiger Pawns are down deployed on the field. Tiger tank with the Stu support. It's likely going to be a dead HQ command truck. And this pushing with forward to get some ground hits there onto these Panther or onto the 25 pounder. Carmo is still alive. Got PS raining on in as well as rocket grenades from that trench. Up north, we do have a Scope Rifle Squad force on back. Regular Tommy Squad advancing forward. MG42 here to suppress. HQ command truck now receiving some shots from the Gigapanzer. Also to the raining on in. And it looks like that rain is bouncing off the hide of the Tiger tank. But it's there. We do have these forces being reinforced. No casualty cleaning station to heal up the officers, though. Damage and crit there on the HQ command truck. Green still has his HQ command truck here, which they may want to set up a. It's trying to set up another defensive line right here. Be a bit better to push it back a little bit. But of course, he wants to protect this 25 pounder. Antrax are going, pushing the way forward. We'll of course find some rifle grenades. Scope of Rifle Squad here to support as well. Heresy grenades does come forward as well. Burning that trench. The third one that is thrown as well. So that trench is really well on fire. And looks like these squads, that Scope Rifle Squad does go down. The Rifle Grenadier, I should say. And there goes Lieutenant as well. So now there's an exposed slit trench for the X-Players to claim. More artillery raining on in. 25 17 pounders severely wounded. 25 pounders still unscratched. I would say get the G43 squad inside that slit trench. G42 and Panther squad in this region, suppressing down these squads here as they advance forward. Captains in this sector. No, captains in this sector. Trying to prep the 17 pounder in combat. Good hits there. 25 pounder or 17 pounder engaging the King Tiger or the Tiger tank, and it's also plugged in as well. 25 pounders almost down as well. You'll see he has loaded the armor piercing rounds on the 17 pounder. Stu fires, gets a good hit there onto the 17 pounder. Tiger tank does manage to get out of there, but with a damage into crit. Fires, not getting the death in the 17 pounder just yet. Buttons Stu, fires, and takes out the 17 pounder. So now that Stu is safe. He protected himself. No, but the Cromwell's in the region. It looks like the Cromwell's receiving some fire there. The Scope Rifle Squad does get inside the Slit Trench. And this British player has not deployed out his next HQ command truck. He's just relying on his teammates HQ. He's not reinforcing either. He may be just AFK. $3,500 does go down as well. Okay, now he's starting to react. He needs to reinforce. Incendiary grenade has been thrown on the Slit Trench. These forces are to make their way forward. Taking out those Pantrick squads before they get any closer. We do have a Firefly over here. The squad receiving a bit of fire. And it looks like the Sentient Pounders now receiving some fire from the Pack 38. Fireflies are backing on off. Stu has Veteran C2 now, which allows him to access the pin amount. If Tommy's do fall back now, the central VP has been scorched. And now we do also have Vickers and a 70-pounder in the flank, trying to prevent anybody from flanking. Another 70-pounder being pulled out by Green. He's the course of one has gone for Royal Artillery. This player has not selected Doctrine yet, has he? He has 9 command points. He also needs to pull out his HQ command truck. It does kill the primary repairer, so there goes that repair progress. The other British player does have access to priests over here. Of course, you know about the Tiger tanks. He has access to Blitzkrieg, so he's almost got his manpower blitz. You may want to start getting some observation posts onto those munitions point for some more manpower blitz. Mass repair onto that victory point. And this is why my Company Heroes 2 mod, I made it so that it actually has health rather than have some sort of timed ability. Because they have not been able to capture that point, they've lost so much manpower because of that. You have a repair station right here. The Axis players have stabilized the game. The game is on pause. While they do have a lot less VPs at the moment, no progress is going to be made for the foreseeable future. The Axis players may be eyeing for annihilation at this point in time. And there go another interrupt of the repair. He's saying Creep, I'm guessing, means going forward. But this Panther's going on down. And there goes that Panther. That Panther's just dead. A little bit too far forward. And see if Grenade does connect. Stormtroopers have face support. They have no interact or STGs at the moment. And let's take a look at the Panzer Elite players. He of course has the Hummels. He currently has 1 out in the field. 6 kills, 1 vehicle kill. Does also have 5 command points as well. Not a whole lot of missions as well, so perhaps going for more observation posts for the Wehrmacht player wouldn't be half bad. We do also have now that Stu seeing quite a bit of fire, may need to fall back. Giga Panzer advanced forward, does have Veteran C3 on these tanks. The shoot does go down. There's a couple carcasses here, so a Perfect Team can recover it. That's a deadly hit. Was that the Hummel? 14 kills, yeah, that was definitely the Hummel. Firefly now seems to fire there. Do also have the 2 Fireflies in this region.
Sizes are now possible.
Oh, we got the 4-man squad upgrades. Very nice. Do now have the fresh Vickers replacement going up, but it won't very last all too long with all the Hummels, Panthers, Tiger Tank, lack of 2-2 in the region. Trying to repair the command point once again. And I think we
can
hear
now
artillery
booby
raining
trap
on in.
buildings to confound the enemy.
Yep. Do now have 3 Fireflies on the field. Plus is trying to booby trap that point now.
Ready to move. Task complete. Heavy partner ready.
Trying to repair up this point once again. Does have a Tommy doing it.
Explosive set! Return fire!
And maybe we'll get the repair this time. They're dogpiling on that point, so it just really screams to me. Maybe at the current rate, they should play out second Hummel. No, Hummels, I would say. Oh, looks like he's asking. He says yes for Panthers. Of course, we have caster vision. We can see this dogpile right there. Antrax gets some good hits there. Main got destroyed. Does he got one of the Panthers? Very nice. And now the point's actually fully repaired. Panther now is seeing quite a bit of fire right there. He could try punching in the vehicle, but does not. Eager Pawns are still receiving some repairs. Hummel Barrage now running on in, so we'll be capturing the central VP now. Tiger Tank does go ahead and fire a shot there, taking out the carcass. I guess really the Bergen Tiga is not really that possible. There's just too much chaos in the front line.
Now deploy sector artillery to strike fear to the hearts of the enemy.
That bit of a bug there of that Bren gun, so it's basically on all the time now. There's actually 2 Fireflies right there, so they're both backing on off. The central VP has been claimed. We do have a Warp Barrage coming out from a 251 half track. And we still got the Bren gun just firing away. We do have a second casualty clearing station here. I'm not sure why he's gotten that. Has he rebuilt his HQ command truck? He is not. He has not rebuilt his HQ command truck. And that is getting really, really annoying. Can somebody shut him up with perhaps with a bullet to the head? I can't even just... I can still hear it from way over there. Okay, fix himself by having him fire. That squad does going to get suppressed. Pentrax to connect with that Vickers replacement there. Stu's advancing forward with the Hummel Barrage as well. Right now the Axis players are going to be hauling a lot of explosives. Got some more officer artillery raining on in. Giga Panzer lining up shot there on the Vickers replacement. Does take it out. We also have the Fireflies advancing forward as well. Get interrupted by some of these slit trenches. There's a captain inside the slit trench, so maybe a good idea to move in that sector over to provide defensive buff across this entire region. Some of these forces being picked on off. Tiger Tank is almost down. Gets bucked in. B-43 squad trying to save the Giga Panzer. Damage crit there on the Tiger Tank. Mac-38 needs to rotate its gun around. Pantrax raining on in. Warman's raining on in. Main gun destroyed. There goes the Tiger Tank. And I think as well, he could apply another Tiger Tank. His teammate could pull out Bergen Tiga to recover the Tiger Tank and give him 2 Tiger Tanks. I would so totally do that. Hummel Barrage raining on in. Ooh, great hit there. The central VP is scorched once again. Axis players down 100 tickets. The Allies have 500. Now let's take a look and see if the Panzer League player is going for a Bergen Tiga. I always forget what structure comes out of, but he's not going for one. Nor does he have one. He has 3 Panthers. As well as not a lot of manpower. For the Blitzkrieg player, he does have plenty of manpower, plenty of fuel. So you can pull out another Tiger Tank soon. He can get out manpower blitz and get out some more manpower as well. Mac-38 will get the crew and fully destroyed off. Stormtroopers and Grenadiers advancing forward. We have a mass repair being called on in. Stu fires a shot. It's great damage there, but does not interrupt some of those repairs. 2 repairs still going on forward. Also, artillery raining on in. Intersections receive quite a bit of fire. One intersection does get fully wiped. And that one does get fully wiped as well. The Brits are losing a lot of infantry. They're dogpiling on that point when they really shouldn't. They played such a good game, and then all of a sudden they sort of just went stupid and tried to mass repair up that scorched point, where they should just deploy out a lot of armor and hit other things. Because you're not going to really stall out versus Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth was designed to stall out. Like, seriously, what are they doing? They're just literally just throwing guys in the grinders, almost like they just became AI. Does take out those forces. We got the Bren 70 pounder now deployed on the field. Antrix squad does get some damage, as well as his own, or has been there with a Bren. Good hits there. 70 pounder has received quite a bit of fire. Looks like the Stu does receive a lot of misses there. Does take out that 70 pounder now. Firefly advances forward with some Bren guns. Stormtrooper still only efficiency 1, and got these Penskaters advanced forward with Panzer Shreks. They're one tank buster, what non-tank buster. And does get a main gun destroyed crit there. Still trying to pursue these forces. He does take out that Firefly as well. May need to fall back with both the squads. Yes, he does. Cracked vehicles. He does have efficiency 2 on his light vehicles now. And the Tiger carcass has gone down, so no recovery from the Gorgondiga. Stu's gets good hits there, interrupts there, and both of them are basically starting over. It's mostly this player just sort of dogpiling in there and getting annihilated. But wasn't the other player earlier doing that? So that counting clearing station does go down. But here's the thing as well going for Staghounds. You don't have the command tank to inspire your tanks. Getting Fireflies, getting inspired by a command tank does great work versus the various armored forces. I mentioned the split trench is just in the wrong position. It needs to be in this sector here for the captain. In fact, he could push it pretty far back, or right around here. Act 38 does go down. And looks like he just force fire on the ground. That Stu. Very nice. Looks like one of the Brits have backed out. Taken over by an AI. Not sure how much it was doing, but with that AI taking over, the game's pretty much over, so I'm going to fast forward through the rest of it. Tiger tanks advancing forward with these forces, trying to get some good damage on in. Over here, the AI controlled forces just charging forward and dying, and the other Brit has back to the game. Wolfman barrage raining on in. Decapons are advancing forward. And there we go. That's the end of the replay. This is Great saying thank you for watching, and on to the next replay. Yep, and you mentioned beforehand you had the other replay submitted to me. In order for me to get that one loaded, I'm going to have to back out of the game and reload. So please give me one moment. Oops. Get that going. And what was the name of that replay? It's involving versus Wagavon versus Sabawi 333. Come on out, load up. Come on, where is it? Nope. Is it? Okay, sometimes it just goes behind.
Sega.
There we go. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I also need to get that back up and going. And let's see now. Okay, this is this top one right there. Let me just go ahead and delete that other one. And here's that other replay that you want to cast. This is probably going to be my last replay for tonight as well. Greetings everyone, and Grade here for another Company Wars 1 replay. Spawn on the north side as the Panzergrenadier player with the camouflage ability, so he's gone for Luftwaffe ground forces. We have Bog Von. Spawn on the south side as the British forces. We have Tabawai 333, and we do also have a handful of Kettengrads being deployed on out. Usually we see 2 Kettengrads versus British forces, but he's gone for 3 this time, looks like. Got the Scope Rifle Squad going for this munitions point, so this guy's going to set up his HQ in this sector here.
We await your command.
And he's not doing the technique of going for Shimwagens and go for a whole bunch of incendiary traps. This one's going to be camouflaging forward. We'll spot the Scope Rifle Squad, but the Scope Rifle Squad will be able to spot it pretty early. It, of course, does reveal him what doctrine he's gone for. And does get and interrupts the capture there. Nice little bullying. And now the Scope Rifles are going to just pursue him. Nope. Falls back, capture the, going back to the capture point. Do get the Lieutenant now deployed on the field. Third Grad has been deployed out, and do have now another Panzergrenadier. He may be trying to stall up for Luftwaffe ground forces or Fallschirmjägers, maybe? He could go for like Logistics Company to 222s, eventually. Well, let's find out. Trying to recapture this point again, and does get knocked around and does get starting recaptures. Retain the capture. He's not doing a good job of getting interrupted, and gets interrupted again. Though he does receive a lot of damage right there now, and does go and fall back. And thanks to camouflage, he's able to fall back quite easily. Brits level 15, so not the lowest, not the highest. Grad camouflaging away. And these Grads are getting quite wounded. He may just want to keep these guys camouflaged to capture points and not go aggressive and risky anymore for this, especially this one. It can't take any more bullets. And he could potentially bully around the Lieutenant. It would be risky to go for do that to the Lieutenant as right now, but it could be a possibility. Infantry section advancing forward. This fuel point has not been cleaned. The HQ command truck has backed on up and redeployed right there, actually. And it's still his primary sector. He actually is not in this munitions sector to get extra munitions. I would push a little bit farther forward just for that income. Kenningrad's doing a good job capturing the rest of the map. Does spot the current location of the HQ command truck. I'm not sure if he employed out here. Let's switch over to him. Another infantry section. So currently has 2 infantry sections. Soon to be a 3rd. Scope Rifle Squad trying to get this cutoff point, and he will be successful. Panzergrenadiers are going straight for the Panzerjäger command, as I theorize. He may be saving his saving his command points to bring out some Fallschirmjägers or the Luftwaffe ground forces. To be his primary frontline infantry unit. And that's Panzergrenadier probably could be upgraded to the G43, and that doesn't have to worry about STGs or Panda trucks. Oh, but he does pull out a second Panzergrenadier. At this point, it will be recaptured by the Kettengrad. Kettengrad now receiving much needed repairs. Scope Rifle Squad throwing some rounds into it. Kettengrad will need to back down out of there. Almost down. Camouflage. Oh, and goes down. I think through a stray bullet. Panzergrenadier should be able to win out. the sectors in supplies. Sectors are not in supplies, so his income is restored. HQ command truck has been redeployed in this sector here as well.
Send your message.
Infantry closing in on us!
And Panzer Grenadiers should be a win out. Scope Rifle Squad has dropped 2 models, and these Panzer Grenadiers have not dropped a single model.
Capture complete.
Keep them from falling into their hands!
Oh, fuck.
Listen up, you sorry lot.
Kaliningrad camouflage around. This one's at full health. This one is... what's the opposite of full health? Nearly dead.
We're ready to roll out.
Section in AOR.
We do have a 4th infantry section now being employed on out.
Troops ready.
Going
Germans
heavy
are
in
trying to
infantry.
seize one of our
And
strategic
definitely
locations.
a little bit lower... where you said definitely level 15. He is using the attach ability right there, which is usually not done by higher level players.
Good to go, sir.
Great damage on that 2-2. Really, really good damage. Probably thanks to the officer, and almost loses 2-2 to that bolt action rifle fire. You also got an STG squad here. So he has gotten 1 squad STGs, so he's not really saving up for units to engage like Elf-Ocean Jaegers, but he may go from Luftwaffe ground forces. You also have this Panzer Command deploying out perhaps another 2-2. Yep, we'll see a second 2-2.
Ready to roll out.
Panzer Grenadiers going to get annihilated if they stay around that region. Navy's cover 1 could stick around just to stall out longer, but won't stall out for all too long. We do have a Luftwaffe ground forces now on the field and getting some repair supplies 2-2. Second 2-2 is going to be pulling on out.
Commonwealth forces are capturing a friendly sector.
Good damage there, trying to repair it up auto combat. 2 2-2s are now firing their 2-0 cannons, or 2 centimeter cannons.
We can use Luftwaffe ground forces.
Okay, I'm trying to stop with the 2-2s.
Ensure mission orders.
Luftwaffe ground forces are not repairing up the 2-2 all too well. Intersections do, however, fall back. They do not get the cutoff point. Do now have a Panzer Support Command being deployed now. He may be eyeing towards Panthers. I don't think he's going to go for a Panzer IV C as much as like the C1. Likely infantry support, infantry support truck now being deployed on out. You may want to lock down this fuel sector with it and get out some other fuel-based assets. Doesn't have to be a Stewart, doesn't have to be the armor command truck, but something. This 2-2 has been fully repaired. This 2-2 is advancing forward. And this Kaliningrad does get spotted, does receive some penetrating bullets. Drawing focus down these 2-2s now, and does do a full retreat. No casualty clearing station for healing. He does need one of them.
We're good to go, sir.
Kaliningrad receiving a bit of fire there. 2-2 may coming to support the Kaliningrad.
Germans have penetrated the lines. They are trying to take a sector.
Do now have a fresh light TF track.
Germans are seizing territory
Interesting.
from us.
Maybe a little bit too early for that. Oh, what's else being employed out here? The Panzer Support Command. Casualty clearance station being employed out next to the field support truck. Okay, that's interesting.
We must protect our
Dudes
munitions.
are starting to
from
advance
enemy
forward.
advances.
Maybe I'm some autocannon fire onto the headquarters command truck.
Capture order completed. Fuel
Not sticking around to get healed up either, so I'm not sure why it got deployed right there and not over here. Does get some damage there onto the 2-2, but does avoid most of the fire, including the Piet.
The enemy
Scope
will
rifle
never be
squad
able
does
to
get
match
some
the
heavy cover there.
efficiency of our support command structure.
Support command structure hasn't been upgraded. Always hated the fact that the Panzer Support Command has the martyr symbol, while the Panzer Jaeger Command has the Panzer IV symbol. I just hate how these symbols are backwards.
Well done, sir. Was ist los?
You get to find some shots there on the armor car.
Reporting task complete. Moving on.
Looks like now getting queued up by the field support truck.
Comfortable
Over here, we do have
is
the
available to take
Victor
the
Point being
field.
decaptured by the Kaliningrad. And now the Sapper's going to be reclaiming it.
Ready for mission order.
Kaliningrad here in a good spawning position. I always do love the self-Kaliningrads. It's one of the most powerful doctrinal abilities for the Panzer Elite, I would say. And it's one you don't need to spend a single command point on.
Kampfgruppe Leer is now able to enjoy the benefits of our Jaeger command upgrade.
Got Panzer Support Command, Panzerjäger Command, and likely he'll get the Kampfgruppe, the Panzerschreck Tank Buster upgrade in order to get out Panthers.
Achtung! Enemy forces are attacking our petrol depot.
Capturing some points here. We do got the 2-2s rotating around. And now we have the activated command, Panther Command battle group. PS do find a hit there on the 2-2. The other PS does find a hit as well.
Forward
These
supply
2-2s will
lines
need
are
to fall
broken.
on back.
We are upgraded and ready for action.
And now the 2-2s will go and blitz away, try to get some much needed repairs. We know what doctrine the Panzer Elite player has gone for, but we don't know what doctrine the British player has selected just yet.
6 ready.
Another sapper? Okay, that's a little bit too many sappers. And bit of wire there by the Luftwaffe ground forces.
The Union Jack never looked so good.
Let's find the captain there, throw some bullets onto him.
Victory location
We
is
also
under
got the
attack.
Kaliningrad decapturing the VP, very nice. And the British are just building up a line of forces.
Sapper troops ready for action.
As of right now, I'm not sure what doctrine the British players should go for. Royal Artillery? Possible. Probably just more not... Yeah, maybe not Royal Artillery. The officer doesn't really have the missions right now for the officer artillery, and that's basically the only thing he's going to get usage out of it. Royal Engineers? He could get usage of the increased income from sectors. Churchills are not very well used, so it's hard to say about that. And there goes the Kaliningrad.
NCOs reporting they have
Hold down
destroyed
could
a
be quite
German
reasonable.
target.
We just only need to secure this sector here, so hold down could be reasonable. Commandos, probably not. He does not need more manpower based units. Like that's just too many squads.
Mainly in done.
He has 3 sapper Piets, 4 infantry sections. That's just way too many squads. Definitely not commandos. He doesn't need any commandos, and the 25-pounder ability can be replaced by Royal Artillery, and priests will be much more useful than commandos. So I think I'm sort of leaning towards Royal Engineers at this point in time. And so far, it's just not a whole lot much going on. We got the Panthers pushing way forward. We got these 2-2s back here, and now we got the Self-Kaliningrad does spot this force. At this point in time, Panzer IV C would not be half bad. Well, Panzer IV C and just start shooting everything that advances around this hedge. He knows his opponent's HQ command trucks right there, so the chance of him bunching up going around this corner is quite likely.
Squad awaiting orders.
Granted, he may not have Panzer IV Cs available. He may have Hotchkiss, which wouldn't be half bad either. Or short-range barrages would be quite accurate, and he doesn't need much accuracy to hit this blob. Here, Kenny Bunton. We got now 2-2s now skirmishing around the back line, and all these forces falling on back.
German forces are trying to overrun one of our sectors.
Let's receive some more shots there from the Panthers. US support trucks now seeing some fire there. Very nice. Damage into crit as well. He is now hitting the Panther. Dude's advancing forward, trying to get some good damage on these forces. Does have to score the captain for the damage resistance in that sector. And now with the armor support command truck. The twos are starting to blitz on forward. Does get the accuracy vectors into this one. That's probably a good idea because this Panther's doing a good job drawing fire. And right now there's no manpower bleed for the Panzer Lead. Well, there's going to be a lot of manpower bleed for the Brits. He did a good job with the stealth Kettlegrads with the decapturing the capture game. At this point in time, he probably really wishes he had a Hummel. When the medics do get gunned down, do now have a 17-pounder being employed now. He does have enough manpower to support it at the moment. A light abstract has been deployed on out. We saw that deployed out a long time ago, actually. Huh, what's that? Incendiary grenades? Oh, Kettengrad. Oh, he lost all of his Kettengrads. Do they now have a fresh Kettengrad? He's not gone for artillery. I don't see any boards here. Does find a bounce there on the 17 on the Panther. Panzer Grenadiers will now receive some fire. Yes, do actually get some great splash damage there. Another squad of sappers? Why? Hopefully those are repair sappers to get overheals a lot of the structures, such as that 17-pounder.
Look sharp. Section. Look
His
sharp.
forces are to make their way forward. Oh, I heard a 17-pounder shot. Does get a hit there onto that mortar half-track. Mortar half-track does even miss there. All these hedges have been ran over. Infantry sort of moving slowly when they have a support nearby lieutenant, so needs to pass on a regular move order to recognize that they can move quickly. Scope Rifle Squad to capture the central VP. Panthers 2-2. Mortar half track is severely wounded. P is trying to charge it forward. STG Squad is trying to find a good flank there. Gets good damage there. There's actually some pair of some rifle grenades. Sapper Squad gets annihilated. That may have been the... Well, that was one of the P sappers. He does have a repair sapper now. STG squads do fall back. Good auto cannon fire in this region. Panther's advancing forward. Does get some hits there onto the Panther. This point was recaptured, but it will be quickly decaptured, no problem. Medic charging on forward. Medic is grabbing casualty. Nope, never mind. And looks like this throw around at his Kettengrad at 2-2. And the casualty has expired. Oop!
The border may have destroyed a German target.
Ouch. He just... I swear, 2-2s are pretty good at friendly fire damage.
Group ready.
I saw the first round, and then noticed he was reloading. It's like, oh yeah, they shouldn't do anything more than that. Nope. The medic claimed a kill, sort of. You gotta overheal onto this 17-pounder. You also have now the mortar half-track raining some mortars in somewhere. And the mortar half track still is an engine crit there, and now it has no engine or anything else. Scope Rifle Squad advancing forward. Looks like a smoke grenade was thrown out by the Rifle Grenadier. Arcus does go down. STG's advance forward, does have the 4-man squad upgrade. Very nice. Scope Rifle Squad trying to avoid the STGs. Both off ground forces decapturing the Central VP. Got the officers still in this region, supporting these various forces. We're gonna go for the slit trench here. As we pause construction, 2-2 still firing away. A lot of manpower bleed in these Brits. Rifle Grenade does get a decent hit on the local off ground forces, but the STGs are still very healthy. Slit trench does go down now.
AT gun ready.
Oh, let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. This is a game of a lot of standstills. Both sides reinforcing, has been healed and reinforced, pushed the way forward. Each section has been reformed, so it does get a fresh Tommy. Now he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads of Tommies. Not a lot of munitions at the moment. Still no doctrine selected, or at least not one we can see. And his opponent does have a Vorblin available. The Vorblin would not be half bad at this moment. So as both 2 still alive, both Panthers still alive, mortar half track rebuilt. STG squad's pushing way forward, but getting ripped apart. The STG squad is getting split damage on these forces. And Dugos have an incendiary effect there.
Ready to respond.
We've upgraded our status.
As reinforced, the slit trench is still garrisoned.
Munitions point has been captured. Welcome to
Garrison of our infantry section, 3 models.
Ready for action.
Got our hands
Ready to
full
move.
here.
Does use heroic charge right there. Maybe a little bit too early for the heroic charge. Mortar half track does get buttoned, and it looks like the Piet squads are getting annihilated. Another Piet squad advances forward, trying to get the kill there on the mortar half track. Engine crit there, and the mortar half track does go down. Trying to capture the Central VP, but Sapper squad needs to fall back. Does do a full retreat now. And this is not going anywhere for the Brit. Sure, he picked up the mortar half track, but he's not going to get the VP captured on up. The advanced player may need to get incendiary grenades to deal with the slit trench. A couple medics charging on forward as well. And Kaliningrad goes down as well. Next, looks like not getting hit there. One of the STG models do go down. Good damage there by the rifle grenades. Firing some grenades over the hedge. You'll also see putting rifle grenades inside the slit trench is not a half bad placement.
Sapper unit ready.
For a bit of a standstill as well. Rifle grenades, looks like smoke grenades, very nice. Pushing forward once again. We'll receive a lot of abuse. The stag count has been completed. And we're trying to go for now some fireflies. And we do have a Flak 88 to put down the field. Interesting. Flak 88 is not going to be very useful this moment. You could go for a forward HQ here to get some good healing onto this Flak 88 as well. Stag count's been upgraded to 50 cal. Good hit there by the rifle grenade. And now the stag count's receiving Flak 88 hits. You may receive another hit soon. Destroyed engine crit. Now it's going to try to slowly back out of the way. He may get behind the line sight blocker. Yep, that was another round to the infantry unit, so he does save the stat count for now. Panthers firing away. We do have another STG squad advance forward, 2-2s, holding efficiency 2, getting some good damage. So the 2-2s are at bet 2, firing their 2 centimeters. Okay, that's enough of the 2s.
COs have what they need to call in artillery.
Another lieutenant being employed on the field. I suppose the extra lieutenants wouldn't hurt.
Unknown number of enemy are moving on one of our victory points.
He could actually set up a slit trench here, throw his lieutenants inside the slit trench in order to inspire the nearby troops while keeping relatively safe. Because it's not going very far forward. He doesn't need his lieutenants to go with them all too far. These good hits there. Ophir can grant his camouflage. Ah, wait, the Flak 88 can bounce off a field support truck? How's that even possible?
We have a secured sector under attack.
Oh, the Stealth Kenningrad's doing some great spotting for the Flak 88. And I see... Okay, no more additional support weapons. STG Cross Squad trying to interrupt the Scope Squad, and lots of PS raining on in. Let's go and sneak a grenade into that slit trench, and he does get inside the slit trench. You have now casualty clearance stations trying to go for healing for that slit trench he just built out. And I think it may be close enough to get that slit trench healed up as well. Field support truck is being under siege. You have some butterfly bombs, just trying to protect the flank. Very nice. Lots of Piets inside those slit trenches. Casualty clearance station has been completed. He has plenty of munitions at the moment as well. Another Incendiary grenade here. He could try out healing it with the casualty clearance station. Just going back out of the slit trench, gets inside again with the scope rifle grenades.
Sector under attack.
SCG squad advance forward, does get a nice flinch there from that rifle grenade. PS do find a hit as well. There's 2 Fiat squads in the back of the slit trench. And does receive a Incendiary grenade as well. Casualty clearance station is healing up that squad. It won't really... Okay, the casualty clearance station's healing has worn off, so now they're getting burned alive. Field support truck getting repaired up while in combat. The repair squad can repair up quite quickly, but won't be able to out-damage Flak 88, I believe.
German forces are trying to overrun one of our sectors.
He will go down, given it enough time. In rounds. Oh, but if it bounces like that, that does save them from going down. The other Piet squad can try to help out repairing it.
Our field support command truck has been destroyed.
Field support truck has gone down, so does the slit trench. That's just a flare for those butterfly bombs. Fiat squad receiving some hits there, trying to go from the slit trench. 52 should rip those guys apart. Both Panthers and Veteran C2 as well, so has access to those pinto mounts. Looks like now the 17 pounder. 17 pounder is now receiving fire from that Flak 88. You now have fresh breeze out in the field. Frag grenades do coming down, get some good damage there on those STG squads. And is that another butterfly bomb? Butterfly bombs being called in right there. That's not a good idea. They'll get most of it all destroyed by all the guns. And they've got some officer artillery raining on in there. I'm not sure what it destroyed, if it got anything. Oh no, that's a creeping barrage. It's a mine. Okay, that's just some butterfly bombs detonating. And it looks like the Flak and the creeping barrage looks like missed the Flak 88. You really should have focused that down though, creeping barrage. Does find a whole bunch of S-mines, or not S-mines, butterfly bombs. Pretty much the same difference when this comes to this gate. Over here, looks like the repair sapper does get forced on back. And the priest is behind the cover of that. Oh, he's going to bring the Henschel strafing support onto that Hummel. Let's switch over here. See the duration of the Henschel. The HS-129B3. Trying to get some more shots onto that self-priest. And the 50 cal can also fire. But now this Kettengrad doing great spotting there. Gets a direct hit there on the priest. Section here getting quite wounded, going down to one member. Of course, got a lot of medics in this region, so he has 2 casualty clearing stations. That's a lot of medics to pick up these casualties. When you get to 2 medic stations, any sort of 2 casualty recovery stations, you get a lot of casualties recovered. It's easy to stop 1, it's not that easy to stop 2. Of course, pushing way forward, looks like the priest may have got gunned down. Nope, the priest just repositioned, almost being destroyed, main gun destroyed at least. City Mortar does come forward as well. Do have the drop Piet as well. Looks like the priest is going to be receiving some much needed repairs. Stealth Kettengrad could push his way forward. Is that still stealth? Yes, it is.
We must injure the enemy and reduce his 300 points.
That term, like, we must injure your enemy when you're actually counting down your opponent, seems like it sounds like more of a line that you would say when you're losing or your own ticket's dropping down. We must injure our enemy, rather than that's one where your opponent is counting down. Priest now firing. Creeping barrage. Looks like the mortar half track does receive a bit of abuse. A lot of abuse. He couldn't take it. Some more of the S-mines getting detonated, but looks like the Flak 80 will not be hit by the creeping barrage. May get splashed a little bit. Oh, no, does receive a good hit there. Does get it decrewed, but not fully destroyed. Infantry start makes its way forward, has a lot of infantry sections. The Panzer player doesn't have a whole lot of manpower at the moment.
We are losing territory.
STG squads could try interrupting some of these squads. We're just getting some great damage on in. And it looks like I got a good hit there on some of the infantry forces, knocking him around a bit. Does stop the capture there. STG's now firing at close range against these Brandon squads. Does fall back on those Panzer Grenadiers. Both of them do fall back. And looks like the priest is now coming for a barrage in this general location. Flak H is only decrewed. He doesn't really need to recapture at this moment. There's nothing really for him to really engage. Stealth Kettengrad has made his way down south. Could go ahead and try advancing forward into this region to perhaps bring in some more Henschels. The Henschels do cost 200 munitions. Looks like it's a relatively fresh squad. He does actually have a forward HQ here as well. Casualty clearance station now under fire. Ooh, seems like a really juicy time for a crush. Let's take out the casualty clearing station there. Autocannons gain some good damage on these forces. Where's that barrage? There they are. More creeping barrage in this region, sounds like. Looks like the Panzer Grenadiers receiving a bit of fire. Do got a British landmine there. Infantry sections advancing forward, or Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward, trying to get some good damage here. SCGs gain some great damage there. Panzer Grenadiers do falling back. This Panzer Grenadiers trying to get some good hits there onto these increased sections. Panzer Grenadier squad does fall back. We do now have the Panther firing away, getting some good damage. Landmine detonation there onto 2-2. As Miramar is exposed. It looks like going to try to back away, but this one will likely go down. And we do have some more butterfly bombs going on down, though, and these ones will land and may get detonated, a couple of them. But of course, got the scope rifles here to spot them. Panther firing away, getting some good damage onto these forces. Panther's pushing way forward. We do have this Panther engaging the intersection at close range. This Panther is trying to whittle down these forces. He does force them back. I just saw your messages there. And not really in mood for covering the Computers 1 Blitz mod at the moment. Let's see. Yep. Can you do that? Or is that a mod to put native languages? I always sort of forget. Looks like that. I hear a Bren gun. Looks like it may be hitting Kettengrad. Yeah, the Kettengrad getting hit by the base MG. And decapture this munitions point. Scope Rifle Squad trying to stop the Kettengrad. Currently is not capturing it up at the moment. And now we've got anti-tank grenades. I don't know if the anti-tank grenades will be very useful unless he get his forces to hit that priest. He does have enough munitions for the Henschel strafing support, so if the Kettengrad pushes forward again, he's able to pull that in. His forces are advancing forward, trying to get some good damage in. Ah, Mod DV, got it.
Ready for orders.
Motor issue.
More butterfly bombs, but they're not an offensive tool. They're purely defensive. So I think almost every single of those butterfly bombs got obliterated. SCG's advancing forward. They do go ahead and get force on back. And now we've got Zeal available. His force is still getting whittled away from the Panthers. Panthers at 22 infantry kills. The other one has a 31. Kettengrad does get spotted there. He
The
could
enemy is seizing our territory.
keep us. He could try going around. Oh, it'll be hard to go around this way. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about hitting landmines because the Kettengrad spots landmines. So he could perhaps camouflage forward, come around, and then park right there to bring in the Henschel strafing support. I'll take a look at that mod. Panther's advancing forward. Almost like I had this 17-pounder selected when switching players, so now there's a permanent reticle.
Under enemy fire.
25-pounder raining on in. It's a creeping barrage to the base, which won't really accomplish all too much because he can just repair it up time and he's just spending a lot of munitions.
200 points. He must be further injured.
The brick so has a lot of command points. He could perhaps go down his other line. Start pushing way forward. This infantry got a lot of SDG squads here. Could try advancing forward. Some unupgraded intersection as well. The second city grenade was thrown. Another city grenade was thrown as well, softening up his opponent. Very nice. The VP is still claimed by the Panzer player. And looks like the Kettengrad does get spotted as well. Does manage to camouflage away. Scope Rifle Squad should be able to easily spotted, however. SCG's advancing forward. 2-2 advancing as well. And it's got a... Oh, he did actually keep alive the other 2-2. That one that hit the landmine. Interesting. Kettengrad still in this region. Medics falling on back. And that will... Let's see... I think that would be enough to get another Tommy. Ooh, great hit there. One of those Kettengrads do go down. Do have these Panthers advancing forward. Good damage there. Does get his fresh intersection. These forces just charging on forward. These will have trouble versus the Vet 3 defense Panther. And these forces are just getting whittled away by these Panthers. Of course, got the priest here to find some autocannon fire onto that HQ command truck. Lieutenant Colonel Exhausted does find some more butterfly bombs. This other Panthers here now throwing some rounds. Looks like this intersection does wipe it out. 2-2 is advanced forward. Does get some good damage there. And this force is getting crowd and whittled down. Fresh from Firefly. That would be useful. Kaliningrad has made his way over here. He has plenty of population space, so getting the points to capture won't really accomplish all too much. And now we do have this intersection squad does follow back. We got these forces advance forward. He has plenty of manpower for reinforcing, so I'm not sure why he hasn't reinforced all these guys. Not like these bolt action rifles could do much versus Panthers.
Tell us what you want.
This entire hedge line is now completely gone. For better or for worse. Does find some of these butterfly bombs there.
Target destroyed.
And this Kaliningrad may have been spotted for a brief moment. No, he's just heading to this casualty clearance station for healing. Or maybe not. I have no idea.
Ready for a fire solution.
Switch back to the Panzer Elite player. Let's see what munitions he has. Henschel straightforward. He has plenty of munitions for it.
We took some
Black
hits,
88 now receiving
but we're
a bit
still
of
here.
fire. The gun itself is almost down. And is out of radius of the forward healing of this HQ.
Paratroopers ready for orders.
These forces are making their way forward. We do have a fresh squad of Holsham Jaegers.
We are losing ammunition depot.
Still Kaliningrad in this region, almost down. Intersections, however, we're receiving a lot of fire. That 3 Lieutenant region, and there goes, or Captain, and there goes that Kaliningrad. I think some random, widespread bullets may have took it out. Just advancing forward. All the Panzer Grenadiers are falling back. 2-2s are just trying to get some various damage on in. We at least have, looks like, 1 hit in this region. Could have been the Firefly that was hitting. And these HQs have not been repaired, but they're not really very damaged from that creeping barrage, so it's not really that important.
Receiving enemy fire. Com system in order.
Put it there onto the Firefly.
Research has granted us the ability to perform advanced repair.
Sprint and advanced repair are now available. A lot of these Panzer Grenadier upgrades are being researched. Not sure what the Flak 88's firing against. Just infantry, I believe. Upgrades coming for a barrage on top of that Flak 88 now.
Standing by.
Rolls a wide miss. And we do have the sprint ability now being activated. I think they're trying to sprint away from the artillery barrage. Gun will almost go down. One near splash will take it out. Like that.
Regular rate.
Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward. One Panzer Grenadier squad does fall back. Continues advancing forward. Firefly does roll a miss there. Panzer Grenadiers and Holsham Jaegers still have plenty of health. One of them is now getting a little bit hit. Firefly does get a hit there onto these confused. They do fall back in time. Do you have defense veterancy onto these Panzer Grenadiers?
They're shooting at us.
Heavy panzer report.
Slit trench going on down. Multiple slit trenches. You could try to keep them all in the same sector so the captain can improve the defense even more. I suppose against the side of slit trench you don't really need more improved defense.
With only 100 points, the enemy must know he is doomed.
Or fast forward a little bit. It's a bit of a quiet time Both sides just trying to bash their heads against each other. More butterfly bombs. This one may get partially gunned down a little bit. A good number of them got gunned down. Now the Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward. Gets good damage there. We may see some incendiary grenades. And looks like these forces do fall back. See a bit too much damage. Going to soft retreat to this HQ. Firefly is now focusing on some of these Panthers. The Veteran C3 defense will pay out in the long run, though.
We are losing ground.
Smoke grenades, very nice. Oh, we also got a Vampire Funkwagen here. No, deny that munitions income. Rock grenades firing away. Looks like the Priest Barrage will ran a little bit short. Rock grenades trying to push its way forward to capture the VP. Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward with STGs. Not really all too well. They're sort of just dancing around a little bit. They probably could have gone nice and close to that rifle grenade. A couple incendiary grenades into that slit trench. Very nice. There's our VP has been claimed by the Brit. You now have a casualty claim situation being employed on out. You got a Funkwagen here. But yeah, I still mentioned that beforehand. Fireflies taking some pot shots at the Panther. We do have the Panzer Grenadier and the Fallschirmjäger advance forward. Fallschirmjäger has gone for veterans accuracy, while the SCG squad has gone for defense. Panther struggles to make his way forward. The Fallschirmjäger does have access to Panzerfaust, and I know he has AT grenades as well. You got a nice officer artillery there, dissuading the Fallschirmjäger to be there. Right now, the Panzer Elite munitions income is 64. His opponents are currently just at 33. Maybe not realizing the fact that there is no munitions income from this point.
The initiative is ours.
Or a
Victory
lot
countdown
less,
started.
at least. Because right here, there's 10, 10, that's 20. And over here is supposedly a plus 33, but that's clearly not the case because it is his total munitions income. So yeah, it looks like he's only getting plus 13 here. You now have a fresh infantry support truck. He does not. He does have a single sapper here for repairs. You could actually deploy that on this sector here to get some more munitions income. That may be a good idea. He has plenty of fuel for the rest of the game. Rifle Grenadier does fall back. Firefly is taking some shots on these Panzer Grenadiers. Looks like this Panther has received some shots. We do got another incendiary grenade onto the split trench. Does use the healing build there. Looks like it's going to take time and tank it with that healing ability. Oh, looks like Kettingrad does get spotted. It does go down. I heard a new vehicle has been taken out. Maybe it was a... I'm not sure what actually did get taken out for the Brit. It's just the voice line for taking out the Kettingrad. Flak 88 is now firing away. Flak 88's in the radius of the forward HQ now. Panther's seeing some fire.
Crew, stand by for orders.
Artillery barrage onto the Flak 88. Huh, I don't see any healing radius around it. Maybe it's already at full health and it just only lost a single model. That may be what's happened. Intersection now seeing a bit of fire there from the 222s. Intersection does get forced back, does reform another intersection squad, so now he's at 6. Jeez, that's a bit too much. His population's can't really handle all that much. Rifle grenades raining on in. Does have a lieutenant in this region as well.
Enemy contact!
Just going to just fast forward a little bit. A little bit campy at the moment.
Armor ready.
And it's advancing forward. Does receive some fire there from the Fireflies. Pete's advancing forward, but they're behind some cover. The Luftwaffe ground forces does dodge those shots there. Let's see the Panzer player has plenty of munitions for the Henschel strafing supports. Over here, do have the intersection captured at this point. Panzer Grenadiers advancing forward as well. Does get some decent damage there onto the intersection. May see Incendiary Grenade there. Not yet. Black 88 has been decrewed, and now the forward HQ is getting severely wounded. Over here, Panthers have been nearly fully repaired. This 2-2 has received damage in the print. New mortar half track, that's a good idea. Help burn out these trenches with the incendiary mortars. Fortune is pushing way forward, has all the Panzer Grenadier squads do fall back, and now the Panzer Grenadier and the Bolshevik Grenadiers falls back as well. Not many losses there for the Panzer Grenadiers, and now here comes a Henschel strafing support. Panthers advancing forward as well, does hit out one of those Fireflies.
Superior fighting capabilities.
Gets good damage there, does size the fall back potentially. Nope, he's pushing forward, one falls back the other. Got some more damage there onto these vehicles with Henschel.
We are losing a sector.
But it's there onto the Priest, and with that Pinto mount there, he can actually reveal himself by shooting up those aircraft. Priest, Panthers rolling it back. And avoid that additional Piet fire. We do also have this Kettengrad in this region now. We do switch way forward, gain some good autocannon fire onto that scope rifle squad. He does have a good reserve of munitions as well, so he's able to call in plenty of Henschel strafing supports to help crack the British vehicles. We do this advancing forward. We got the engineer right there, and we also have the Panzer Grenadiers receiving quite a bit of fire. We have a mortar in that split trench, but needs to be incendiary mortars. Incendiary grenade does come forward there. And it looks like that 25-pounder is still engaged in that region. The Priest, anyways, which is a 105, not a 25-pounder. Sextons has a 25-pounder. Over here, we got the intersection squad does fall back. Rifle grenades firing away. Mortar not getting good hits on the split trench because it needs to be incendiary mortars. There's the incendiary mortar, and it looks like a largely missed. Also got the casualty clearing station healing up these forces while at it.
Welcome to our Schützentrupp. Ready for combat
We
action.
also got a scout card, 223, getting some more munitions income. Another Henschel strafing support here, trying to hit these Fireflies. Or Firefly.
The enemy is attacking.
And does go ahead and lose that. Looks like a mortar half track. Got munitions half track here as well.
Destroyed an enemy unit.
Good damage there onto those forces. And there's actually a couple trenches he could actually claim. He actually should charge forward, claim some of these trenches, because it's hard to clear out those trenches. Although it's those rifle grenades from the, well, he got actually a decent hit there. I'm not sure how it got such that great of a hit. Bolshevik squad does fall back. And the center VP has been claimed by the Panzer League player. New mortar half track has been deployed on out.
We are losing a sector to the Commonwealth.
Order ready for a combat mission.
Grease firing a barrage somewhere. Not sure where though. Actually, he's trying to barrage the base. This 4 HQ is still up and going, so get that healed, reinforced, and perhaps grab the gun Flak 88 as well. Volkswagen still camouflaged, haven't deployed out any Goliaths just yet. Mortar half-track has the support of the munitions half-track now. And do now have another incendiary mortar effect here. Trying to out-heal the damage. Third target destroyed. Did he just get some kill there? Not sure what though. Let's switch over to the Brit. Oh, there's another incendiary mortar there. He's going to start pouring in the incendiary mortars there with that munitions half-track in the region. Fortunately, makes advance forward. Got plenty of XTG squads charging on in. That is not a built trench. Incendiary mortar or incendiary grenades now being thrown in all these slit trenches there, trying to burn these guys out even more. He has plenty of munitions to try to burn them out. Got self-catching ground in this region. Could perhaps call another Hensel straight from sport over here. And if they're going to just play like tug of war over this VP, he could play out Panzer Force C, hold down, and put holes in everything that advanced towards that VP. Mortar half-track now seeing a bit of fire. Does get buttoned. Mortar half-track is seeing some fire. Does get some defense efficiency. He does need some repairs as well. And now 25-pounder barrage is raining on in. All these forces just need repairs. He has plenty of VPs to trade time for repairs and resources. Fresh Scout's car has been deployed on out. And now do have the 223 upgrade being deployed. Do have these two Panthers deployed on the field. And now got the SCG squads and big support as well. Yeah, I've sort of lost passion playing Company Heroes 2 myself. I have my own mod. I sort of just got burnt out on Company Heroes 2 entirely. Brand Squad does receive a bit of fire there. Do have the Slit Trench Piets firing away, trying to dissuade these Panthers. We got the Henschel straight from port raining on in, trying to get some good damage. Does get some good damage into those priests. Hazard trying to reposition the priests now. May receive another strafe run. Kind of push way forward. Does receive some more hits there. Just hitting the various structures here. Kettograd still not revealed. Do now have the priest moving around over here. Actually does receive some more damage there. Destroyed engine and main gun destroyed crit. So it's basically fully paralyzed. Well, not fully paralyzed. Still can creep away, but here comes another run and takes out the priest now. Panzer Grenades advance forward. There's some slit trenches of which these Panzer Grenades can claim. More incendiary grenades. This intersection does ban that trench. Could see some more slit trench. Okay, does try to play around these trenches a little bit more, but they're going to be slowly whittled away. Fortune makes advance forward. Ooh, there goes that Panzer Grenadier squad. More artillery raining on in. Do have a fresh priest here. That's what blew up that Panzer Grenadier squad. How much manpower? Okay, both players are pretty low in manpower. Still has not gotten all the rest of his command points. Commies, go ahead and load up inside that slit trench. We do have these Panthers firing away. SCG squad advancing forward. And now we do have something we called in, some sort of officer artillery. I think that's the vector target, isn't it? Kaliningrad taking time to decapture this point. That is actually very important to bleed off his opponent's max population.
Ready the vehicle for move.
That driver really must not like that gun firing in his face. Down south, he's got the 2-2 running over some wire. Kaliningrad has captured that point, and maybe just want to go over here to this munitions point now.
Bloody hell, they
Reporting a sector is
2 is going to try to camp this point here. 9's point that max population.
Go on, sir.
More rounds running on in. BP not being captured on up. Splashes down some of his own intersections there. They got some more artillery raining on in now.
Forward supply lines are broken.
Engaging more and more of these MGs. In fact, allowing these casualties to be claimed is actually a good idea for the Panzer League player, because his opponent, he's doing a good job denying population cap against his opponent. So getting his opponent to get more infantry sections will deny more population room. Big brain plays. Ultra Makers advancing forward.
Contact report. Enemy vehicle is
Incendiary mortars raining on in. I do now have 2 mortar half tracks here, just trying to pump in a lot of incendiary mortars. The Brit is low on munitions now. This Funkwagen is doing a great job of denying all of this munitions income. Over here, the Panzer League player has plenty of munitions income, but he has spent a lot of munitions there trying to burn out these trenches. He does wipe out another squad there. These trenches start being whittled down. He's going to lose that PS squad, which is very important because he needs to retain that anti-tank. He's out that slip trench there. He does capture the central DP now.
Excellent job, squad. Sir, we have a new half-track ready for combat.
The light TF track is an interesting option. He must really want to deal with this Firefly, but it's not really critical. More mortars raining on in. Got some more artillery barrage in this mortar half track, so one of them didn't go down. Next round coming on in. Sappers advancing forward. We got the Volksjägers advancing. Needs to focus down that sapper. Incendiary mortar does come forward. Or was that an incendiary grenade? I think that's an incendiary mortar. Does go out the trench there. Fire does take out that mortar half track there. Firefly does fully go down. Panther, he still has both his Panthers alive. VP has been protected. 52 is advancing forward, trying to deal with some more advancing infantry.
Hello! What do you want?
Kaliningrad camouflaging his way forward. Almost gets annihilated by his own Flak 88.
We are losing a sector.
He's making sure that intersection does not capture the point, so pulling around the point with his Panther to south the capture would be a good idea. Right now, he just wants to bleed out his opponent's VPs.
Germany is conceding a sector point to the Commonwealth. We must rally.
So the squad's trying to capture that point. They do get the decapture at least. Panther's getting some good damage on in there. Intersection trying to lay down some more slit trenches. And we're seeing quite a bit of damage right there. Trying to recapture the point. Does take out that slit trench there. Staghound does poke his way forward. The squad here inside these trenches are getting quite wounded. We could see some incendiary mortars here. Still, Kaliningrad pushes his way forward, try to get some good hits there on another Henschel streaking support onto the Priest. Incendiary mortars getting some great damage right here. Of course, one of those squads out. More incendiary mortars raining on in, burning these trenches and everything inside. Though we may just need to get rid of the casual clearing station, but the Brit does not have a lot of munitions. 50 cal now firing away against that Kaliningrad. All he needs to do is need to capture the point, deny the population cap. Now it's safe to withdraw. Incendiary mortar raining on in on this trench. Yeah, the Brit does not have a lot of munitions. He's spending it all onto the healing from this casualty clearing station, hasn't he? And it's advancing forward, trying to do with that captain. Just ignore the captain, go straight for the HQ command truck. Stack count does go down. Incendiary mortars trying to burn these squads. And the Kaliningrad may have gone down as well. His forces are pushing way forward, trying to get some good damage there on the slit trench. Look inside this slit trench here. There we go. That's exactly what the Panzer player would like to see. STGs inside of a slit trench. That thing's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, unless it burns out its own squad. No, actually, it's cool. Yeah, the friendly fire damage is a little bit high. Just worry about that squad entirely. The medics charging forward, trying to pick up those casualties. Looks like the medics being burned alive as well. If he is capturing the favor of the Panzer player, the British players start losing a lot of forces, and I think the British player maybe finally cracked. Not really cracked, just whittled down. He still has a core right here that his opponent has not been able to advance into. Black 88 could be recruited and hit that infantry support truck that may be in range, maybe just out of range though, by the Flak 88. Now that the trench is exposed, he perhaps can get a guy inside of it. The Brit has a bit of reserve of manpower, a bit of reserve of fuel, of course. At this point in time, you have infinite fuel. Is now firing away, trying to get some good damage there onto that infantry section. And does annihilate that squad entirely. Panthers, how many kills do these Panthers have? 53 and 35. Considering more in that slit trench there. And now the BPs are counting down against the Brit quite quickly, and it looks like there's no way it's going to get this point recaptured in time. Another incendiary mortar or incendiary grenade there. And this SDG squad inside the slit trench will be able to gun down anything that advances to that BP. We got now the PS sappers advancing to that BP, and will likely get gunned down. Yep, being focused down right there. And the Brit has cast the GG. Oh no, that's the Panzer B player. And that is the end of replay. This is Anagrade saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay. So that will be my last replay for tonight. I'm getting quite exhausted, and it's usually a little bit later than I usually stay up, at least on stream. So everyone, have a good night, have a good evening, and get some good rest.